Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1 minute time check, stations.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this is Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder. Brought to you by Bud Light. It's for the fans. Hy-Vee, the official grocer partner of Iowa Hawkeyes basketball. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. By the Iowa Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, who reminds you to click it or ticket day or night. By University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. And by Authentic Brand. Look authentic, feel authentic, be authentic. Get your game day gear online at authentic-brand.com. Now, here is your host, Rob Brooks.
And we welcome everybody to Bumps and also on the Hawkeye Radio Network. We are at Bumps at the Finkbine Golf Course for Hawk Talk, and plenty of good stuff to talk about tonight. Obviously, on the top line is Iowa's huge road victory at Nebraska. And, of course, in that basketball game, had a little bit of everything that we'll have a good time talking about. A great road environment. The Hawks pull it off at 95-86. Also, Caitlin Clark, again, honored by the Big Ten Conference. No surprise there after the week that she had. But there certainly could have been others because there were outstanding performances. We'll talk about McKenna Warnock and Kate Martin, big shots off the bench, Coach. And welcome to Bumps. This feels pretty good tonight.
Yeah, well, it's always more enjoyable to go to work after a win, right? And
absolutely.
So it just, well, who was it? Somebody said winning is like a deodorant, covers up a lot of problems. So I think that's so true. But no, this was a really good win for us, and it's great to be here tonight. There's just a great crowd here, and thank you for joining us at Bumps. And just great food here, and we're excited to have our program here. So thanks for everybody for coming out tonight. And if you're not here tonight, come join us another week.
Absolutely, you can make reservations, and we always have a great crowd. But especially everybody's pretty pumped up about what happened yesterday, and it just shows you about the game of basketball, how things can change. Whatever happened in the past is the past. Whatever's going to happen in the future is going to happen. But, boy, you can control today, and your team certainly did yesterday.
Yeah, and something, you gave the exact message that we gave to them. The team was that, it's in the past. Just not worry about that. The only thing we have to control is today. And I really am thankful and admire our players for the way they came out at Nebraska. It was just a really good energy all day, like at shoot-around, at pregame meal. It just felt good, like the team was light. They just were optimistic and positive, and that's the real sign of a real winner, when you're able to sustain a loss. That was not a good feeling loss for us. Losing in our home court, we don't like that, and losing to Northwestern, and then going into a place that hadn't lost at home all year and was 13-1 overall, and so that was a very, very good road win for us, and it was a happy plane coming home.
Sure was. 4 in a row against Nebraska. And you talk about environments. Caitlin talked about it after the game. McKenna did as well with us on the postgame show. That you could just kind of get that sense in the first couple of minutes, no matter what the outcome was. This was going to be an entertaining game and most likely come right down to the wire.
Yeah, I mean, it had to have been a fun game to watch. I mean, both teams, shooting well. And such a good environment. I heard they had over 8,400 people there. It was certainly loud, and there was a lot of energy in the arena. And so, I'm sure that they were, expecting to extend that win streak. So it feels really, really good to get that win.
And you look at some of the performances, and McKenna Warnock, we've talked on this show and on the pregame show several times just about what an outstanding year she has put together. And now when you make 7 out of 9 from 3, people really start to take notice. But she's had an outstanding year and just was absolutely terrific yesterday.
Yeah, and congratulations to Caitlin for being named the Big Ten Player of the Week. But I think McKenna Warnock could have also been named Big Ten Player of the Week. I mean, she had 2 fabulous games, and nobody's going to argue with Caitlin's 30 points in both of those games. But at the same time, even you go back to Northwestern, you look at McKenna, she shot, her adjusted field goal percentage was 88%. She was 5 for 8 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, led us with 8 rebounds, so had a really good game against Northwestern, and then follows that up with this game at Nebraska where 7 for 9 from 3-point range. Her adjusted field goal percentage is 104%. So, I didn't know you could shoot that well. So
that's pretty good.
And she led us with 10 defensive rebounds as well. So just a really good game, having 23 points, took a couple of assists, and I'm really happy for McKenna in the way that she's playing right now. And we really need that. We can't have it just be Monica and Caitlin. We really need McKenna to step up like she has been. But also, Kate had some really bright moments yesterday as well, and that was good. Kate was 4 for 4 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3-point range, a perfect 2 for 2 from the free throw line. So she didn't overdo it. Sometimes, players want to overdo it. Just take the good ones. When you're struggling a little bit offensively, just go get the easy ones, and that'll build your confidence back up. And I think that's what Kate did yesterday.
Did you get a sense the team took good shots?
Well, I do, because we shot a lot better percentage, but I just think that we didn't force a lot of bad ones. And, we took 19 threes in this game. And, against Northwestern, we took 26 threes and only made 6. And so, taking better 3-point shots obviously is a really smart thing. And I think our players were hunting for them a lot better.
You mentioned McKenna Warnock's 3-point shooting. 11 the last 2 games, and when you're not shooting as well as you'd like from behind the arc, is it maybe just take 1 player, 2 players to knock a few down and see what happens?
Well, I think sometimes that can happen. It's like, the dam bursting. Against Nebraska or Northwestern, I just felt like, nobody was really on except for McKenna. I think it is a confidence thing. Sometimes when people miss shots, it's like everybody gets tight, and sometimes when people are, draining them, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, this is fun, and it kind of just takes the pressure away a little bit. But you look at McKenna's numbers in conference play. Now, we've only have, 3-game sample, so it's not like it's a big sample size or anything. But she's shooting 14 for 20 from 3-point range, 70%, and from 2-point range, 72%, or overall 72%. So really nice to see. And also, getting 8 rebounds per game. She's really putting up some great numbers in just those 3 conference games.
Had a tough rebounding game. There was a lot of loose balls, a lot of contact underneath, fighting for rebounds, and McKenna Warnock was right in the middle of it.
Yeah, and thankfully she got 10 defensive rebounds for us. But we're not boxing out well. We didn't box out well, against Northwestern. Certainly we didn't box out well against Nebraska. So it's something we're really trying to work on. They had 23 offensive rebounds, and some of them came within the same possession. They'd have 3 or 4 within the same possession to really elevate that number. It's kind of, they got 44% of offensive rebounds, which is way too high. But out of those 23 rebounds, they only scored 17 points. So it's kind of like, that's less than 1 point per rebound. We had 5 offensive rebounds, scored 8 points, so almost double. And so it's kind of, we're more efficient with the offensive rebounds that we got. Certainly, they didn't score as many, but they got 23 more shots in this game. That's because of the offensive rebounds. So you got to shoot really, really well if you're going to give your other team 23 extra shots. That's just way too many.
But, as you mentioned, a lot easier to work on after getting the W.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of really long-range threes.
A lot of threes shot.
A lot of threes. Yeah, they shot 34 threes. And those result in longer, those misses result in longer rebounds. And, they're going kind of sailing over our head a little bit. And but we've got to do a better job of going out to meet the defense and create that room between us and the basket instead of letting that happen to us.
Lisa, you led for 37 minutes and 54 seconds. Nebraska only led for 24 seconds. And when they did grab the lead there in the fourth quarter, the crowd was really into it. The impressive thing was the Hawks answered every single time that Nebraska made a run. Yeah,
they went ahead with, I think, 6:20 to go in this game. And then, as A.J. Ediger was in the game at the time, she was playing our backup five for us. She got a very, very important offensive rebound. Got the offensive rebound, kicked it back out to Kate Martin, who put a three down. And all of a sudden, we have a 2-point lead again. So their lead was very short-lived. But, for our team to withstand that and on the road is a growing, I think it's going to really help us with our growth as we move down the line.
Yeah, the nice thing is because, as you well know, it's so easy for that 1-point lead to get to 3, to get to 5, and then you start to press a little bit coming down the last 3 or 4 minutes. But no empty possessions in that period of time. Matter of fact, you made 4 of your last 5 field goals in the ballgame. And Nebraska did not score in the last 2 minutes and 36 seconds.
Yeah, totally different from our game, the prior game before then, where, we have a tie game, I believe, with Northwestern with like 3:30 left, and we have 3 turnovers and a missed 3 within that time. So, Northwestern, that was not good in that last 3 minutes how we played. And then, obviously, with Nebraska, I thought we were much smarter in our clock management in the going down the stretch.
Yeah, you look at the final score of that Northwestern game, and that is not indicative of how tight that game was in the fourth quarter, because you did have a real chance there midway through.
Oh, we did. Like we were kind of down, and then came back, tied it up, and the crowd got behind us, and I felt really good about that situation. And then, obviously, 3 turnovers in the last 3 minutes doesn't give you a lot of opportunities to shoot the basketball, no matter how good your defense is being right then. So that was unfortunate.
But you talk about AJ and her play, and has not played much, and certainly has not played in that situation. To go to her and have a couple of huge assists and a big rebound and just seemed comfortable in the moment.
Yeah, she played 5 minutes against Nebraska, and AJ has been showing us in practice. I mean, she's willing to be physical. She's kind of willing to do the dirty work, get the boards, box out. She's got some growth, as all freshmen do. They're all going to get better and and learn the system a little bit better. But AJ's been doing it in practice, and we went with her in this game because they had a very physical post player themselves. Nebraska did. And we just felt like AJ could go in there, and even if she fouled, at least she would, be a physical presence against their center, Alexis Murkowski.
And then also Kylie Feuerbach off the bench had a huge reverse layup.
She did, and I think it was Monica that gave her the assist on that layup. But, Kylie played a lot of minutes in this game. She was 1 for 2, 50%. She plays nearly 18 minutes, so nearly half the game for us. We're asking her to do a lot defensively for us, and we're asking her to play the point guard, the off guard, and the small forward. So Kylie's having to know 3 positions right now, which is a lot for a newcomer to have to learn. But her reverse layup was really important. She got the ball into Monica. She did a nice give and go cut. Monica got it back to her, and she had the reverse make. That was really a pretty important time for us as well.
Yeah, it really was. And she seems to like to operate on that baseline. She can turn the corner and get to the basket.
She's a good penetrator, which we feel like we just really need to be able to get more opportunities to penetrate and to either kick out for 3. We like that in-out 3, or, get to the free throw line or just get to the rim. So I'm pleased with the way that she's attacking the basket, Kylie Feuerbach, the way she is, putting her head down and getting to the rim.
And, of course, assists, we always like to talk about sharing the basketball, and 22. That's a number that you got to be happy with. 22
assists, 15 turnovers, a few too many, but 22 assists, really happy. And, again, just such a, different game than what we played against Northwestern. We had 15 assists and 18 turnovers. So, again, just contradicting each other, and obviously the outcome thankfully contradicted each other as well.
And now, of course, the key thing is to take this outstanding performance and kind of get on a roll, and you're going to have an opportunity because there's a lot of games coming up.
Well, there is a lot of games. We are going to have a makeup game. We're going to make up our game that we lost to Penn State later this month, and so we'll have that. So, yeah, it's going to be a really compressed schedule for us. We're also hoping to get the Illinois game rescheduled in February, but there's going to be a lot of games where we have a one-day prep for, which is not ideal. You really want to have that 2-day prep. But, we also want to get the games back, and we want to get those games in at Penn State and hosting Illinois. So that's going to be very important.
And we'll talk about the difficulty with scheduling, too, and how the Big Ten can get involved a little bit later on. But you mentioned Caitlin Clark, of course, honored by the Big Ten. She has 26 Big Ten honors in her short career. 13 Freshman of the Week honors, which was just about every single week last week. 8 Players of the Week, and 5 times on the honor roll. But as you mentioned, averaged 30 points, 30.5 last week in Big Ten play, 5.5 rebounds and 8.5 assists. And one thing this team and Caitlin is doing really well is getting to the free throw line and knocking them down. 21 of 22, over 95%. And almost got a triple-double on Sunday, and then, of course, had 30 against Northwestern. And you could tell that she really relished the environment on Sunday.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Caitlin, first of all, she's got a lot of family that lives in Omaha, grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins, and so I think she really likes going over there. She had a really good game last year over there as well. But then, that crowd, they kind of got on her a little bit, and she just kind of enjoys that a little bit. So it's interesting. People don't understand her yet, and understand that kind of can rev her up and get her pretty excited to play. But I got a great story about Caitlin. After the game, a lot of people want to see her, and there's a little girl that had a sign that said, "Caitlin, rock, paper, scissors for your shoelaces." And Caitlin saw the sign and went over to this little girl before she went to the locker room, and she said, she just took off her shoes and gave her shoes to this little girl. Girl started crying. She was so excited about it. But that's the type of impact that our women can make on young people, and it's just so fun to see them being role models and recognizing that they are role models, and how can I make this girl's day? And that wasn't an Iowa-issued pair of shoes. That was a Caitlin Clark purchased pair of shoes. And she goes, I really did kind of like those shoes.
And she signed them, too.
And she signed them. So that was a pretty cool thing that Caitlin did. Make that girl happy, I'm sure.
Yeah, and with the impact that she has on the game, you're going to have that on the road where there's going to be a lot of young players there that want to take a picture with her or get an autograph, and she has no problem with that. She spends a lot of time with any kid that wants to even talk to her.
Yeah, well, and she loves that. She is that. She understands the platform that she has, and she understands that, she looked up to people like Maya Moore, and, those people gave her time, and now it's her turn to pay that forward and do it for those kids that are going to do it down the line as well.
No doubt about it. Terrific impact on a great afternoon in Lincoln, Nebraska. Blue is caring, blue is convenient, and now blue is Medicare Advantage from Wellmark Advantage Health Plan, offering all-in-one Medicare coverage, our extensive network, and the confidence of being covered by Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more at wellmarkadvantage.com. Of course, we are at Bumps at the Finkbine Golf Course in Iowa City. And if you would like to join in on the conversation and talk about yesterday's victory or whatever is on your mind, 1-877-464-2957. Our call-in number, 1-877-464-GO Hawks. We'd love to hear from you. And we will be right back with more Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder, presented by Oakdal, as it continues after this on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield.
In Iowa, we grow corn, a lot of corn. We love seeing our farmers in the fields, and although they're perfect strangers, we know them. We know them by their equipment covered in dust. We know them by their work ethic, where days off don't exist. We know them by the way they wave, passing strangers alike on a two-lane road. We know them in the midst of our kitchen as we prepare another family meal. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. The Iowa corn farmers are proud to be on the sidelines for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Get your ice cold Bud Light, seltzer hip. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now, hip. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Check out Bump's Restaurant, located on Melrose Avenue in Iowa City, inside the new Nagel Family Clubhouse at Finkbein Golf Course. We use fresh whole ingredients and scratch cooking in all of our dishes. Come enjoy a blackberry avocado salad, our famous pork tenderloin, or maybe our signature Kinnick burger with a side of our fresh hand-cut french fries. And don't forget to try our legendary Mary and handcrafted cocktails. Reservations are encouraged. Make yours today by calling 319-335-9662. Bump's Restaurant, legendary man, legendary food.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Are you looking to downsize from your family home to begin your retirement years? Our Oak Knoll East campus is for you. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. Our new campus has many unique amenities for your active lifestyle, in addition to providing the same great services that Oak Knoll has offered our residents for over 50 years. We're now open and have a few 2-bedroom apartments still available. Call me at 319-351-1720 or visit oakknoll.com to set up your personal tour. Go Hawks!
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
We are back at Bumps at Finkbein for Hawk Talk with Coach Lisa Bluder on Monday night, and we'll be back here next Monday night as well. And then we do have a change in the schedule, so mark this one down because of what you heard Coach Bluder say in the last segment about Iowa playing at Penn State on the 25th of January, the makeup game from December. We'll have Hawk Talk on Wednesday night that week. So once we get back from State College the following night on the 26th. So it'll be next Monday, the 17th, and then we'll finish out January on the 26th here at Bumps. And don't forget on Mondays, great specials. If you join us, a $10 local Iowa USDA prime sirloin steak with a side, also $5 well martinis. And then the rest of the week on Tuesdays, you can get 2 tenderloins for $10. All craft draft beer pints are $3.50. Burger night on Wednesday, 2 outstanding burgers for $12. Bottles of wine, half price. And then Monster Taco Thursday, as you can get a couple of outstanding large tacos and also a $3 classic or strawberry margarita. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 4 until 6. $3 well cocktails and domestic long neck bottles of beer as well, and then $4 select coastal wine. So
Jeez.
All week long here at
They
Bump,
got something every night going on.
Good stuff, huh?
That's amazing, yeah.
And the food is outstanding here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have a steak dinner tonight afterwards.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, you should join me, Rob.
Yeah, I probably will.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. We have some calls, so
right.
Let's head to Des Moines and bring in Anthony first. Anthony, how are you this evening?
Pretty good, Coach. Rob, I don't know about you guys, folks. I am ready for a January thaw to heat up. I am ready for 40 to 50 degree weather right about now. But, Coach, I want to congratulate you on the win at Nebraska yesterday. Sorry I didn't get to see the game, but I did keep score on my phone. I am happy on the win. Question is I have for you, Coach. How many point guards or shooting guards that you had throughout your entire coaching career have made All-American? Can you name a few of them? And what are your concerns about Penn State on the 26th of this month? And I'll take it, listen, and go Hawks. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for calling in, Anthony. Point guards and off guards, you're going to test my memory a little bit, but obviously Kathleen Doyle, Sam Logic, both terrific point guards, all Big Ten and All-Americans. Kasheen Alexander was one of the best rebounding guards in America, the Minneapolis native. Lindsey Meter was drafted by the Minnesota Lynx, just a tremendous three-point shooter player for us when I first came here to Iowa, and then went to dental school and now lives in West Des Moines. So those are some great point guards, shooting guards. I'm trying to remember. I'm probably forgetting somebody, and I hate that, but those are the ones that kind of pop into my mind. Camille Walleen was just a tremendous point guard for us. I mean, we've had some great shooters. Jamie Prinny Brandt, just a tremendous shooter. But I think the All-Americans, Kathleen, Sam, Kasheen, and Lindsey Meter, I believe.
Yeah, and Allie would probably be forward or guard. So,
if you 3-4 type of player, sure, absolutely. And she was also an academic All-American, as was Lindsey Meter, too. So, so some really good players we've had the opportunity to coach, and very thankful for them. And then Penn State, quite honestly, Anthony, I haven't even seen Penn State play. I don't know anything about them. I've got Purdue on my mind right now. We have Nebraska coming back on Sunday, and that is a 5 o'clock tip. 5 o'clock tip because it has been picked up by television. It is a blackout game, so everybody wear black, and they're going to be handing out free black rally towels. And I understand the Raptors are going to be in the concourse. So if you want to get a close-up view of the Raptors, you can see them in the concourse before the game versus Nebraska at 5 o'clock. So, and then after that, we'll be heading to Penn State. So, again, I kind of don't really look ahead that much. I really try to focus on really the 1 week at a time. And so kind of Purdue is on my mind right now.
And an important game because of the only meeting with the Boilermakers.
It is, the only meeting, you're right, and it's on their home court. And so, want to go in there. They got to be feeling really good about themselves. They've won 5 games in a row right now, so they're feeling it. They've also had really good wins earlier in the year against Georgia Tech, a 1-point win, and they're ranked 16th in the country. They've in the last. The Big Ten season, they have beaten Michigan State on the road. They beat Rutgers. They lost at Maryland, so nothing to be too ashamed about there. And they lost at home to Ohio State. But like I said, they've won their last 5 in a row, so feeling pretty good about themselves. And they have some outstanding shooters on that team.
Yeah, and we'll dive into Purdue here in the second half of the show. Won at Michigan State 69-59, so an outstanding victory at the Breslin Center. Let's head back to the phones. And Karn, North Liberty, haven't heard from you for a while. Good to have you call in.
I've been listening.
I know. I caught you at the game last week, so you reminded me.
Well, anyway, Happy New Year. And it was a good victory yesterday. The only thing I didn't like is I had to watch, I didn't have to, but I watched wrestling. So I didn't get to know the game, see the game happening as it was happening. So I saw it on a replay. And, of course, I knew that you already won. And when they took their 24-second lead, I didn't worry because I knew that you won.
A little less stressful that way, right?
I wish I knew that stuff ahead of time.
Well, the only thing I hated was I love to listen to Rob and Jamie, and I couldn't do that. I had to listen to the regular broadcasters. But anyway, we managed to get the 3-point baskets, but we still need to work on our rebounds. Now, was it due to COVID that you decided not to shake hands with both Northwestern and Nebraska? And how often do you have to test? And how many have to test positive before you have to call off a game? And good luck, and I hope for the very best.
Well, that's a lot of stuff, Karin. I wish that you could have listened, but I'm sure you enjoyed watching our wrestling team, our outstanding wrestling team, and having fun with that. You know, the Big Ten coaches just decided why shake hands after a game, why bother doing that after a game. So it's just a mutual decision among all the Big Ten coaches. We're just going to give it the wave instead of shaking hands after games. So not a big deal there. We did it all last year. You know, and testing, we are actually not testing, okay? So our team is vaccinated. We're not testing. But you have to have 7 players and a coach, one coach, in order to play a game. And if you don't have that, then they're not playing. So that's kind of the numbers that they've come up with. 7 players and 1 coach is the minimum for you to play the game.
And I saw when the Big Ten released kind of their new statement on COVID protocols the rest of the year, and it kind of left some gray area in there, which you got to petition if you don't feel like you're safe enough to play. And that's,
and that's going to be like, okay, who wants to make those decisions, right? When, you know, if certain teams are wanting to not play because they have a couple people out and they don't feel comfortable traveling, I mean, is it Maryland asking, or, you know, I mean, who's asking, and who's, you know, all that sort of stuff. So it's going to be tricky, and I just, you know, I wouldn't want to be making those decisions. But we're trying to get those 2 games back that we lost. Again, Penn State, we were going to play them. We were down, as you know, Monica and McKenna. We were still going to go and play those games against Penn State and against Iowa. We thought we had to. So we were fully prepared to do so. And then when they canceled them, obviously, it was probably good for us because we were down 2 starters. But we're now going to be playing Penn State on the 26th. And the Northwestern game that's on the road will be moved back a day in order for us to get home and have prep days for that. And then, again, we're trying to schedule the Illinois game in February.
Most teams are pretty accommodating, moving a game by a day.
Northwestern was, and, you know, it really gives both of us only 1 day to prep for I think we have 2 days to prep for our Ohio State game, and he'll only have 1 game to prep for Illinois. It probably helped asking Joe after he beat us. He was more cordial to the move and to helping us out a little bit, so that probably didn't hurt things. Yeah, and I thought a nice thing, too, and Karin asked about the handshake line. There's obviously been a lot of talk in all sports about whether that's a good thing to do. Not to do, just emotions running high at times. And, you know, Sam Hybe went right up at the end of the game with 3 seconds left when Caitlin was dribbling the ball out and just shook hands. Yeah. You know, and I kind of like to just see that. Yeah. You know, you just go up to a couple different players and say, hey, that was competitive. Right. Great game. Right. See you next time. Out there on the floor. But, you know, going through the line, there's maybe people that weren't playing or that, you know, that you're going to have contact with now. I mean, here you are battling on the floor, and then, you know, you're going to get COVID from a handshake. I'm not sure if that really is going to matter. But, you know, the handshakes have kind of gotten weird lately. I mean, you know, the losing team kind of doesn't even look at you, and it's kind of like, I don't know, it doesn't. Good game. And then you get to the end of the line, and every coach with the transfer portals now handing out their cards saying, you're unhappy. And, you know, it's so, I don't know, maybe it's a good thing. I think it is. You know, not to shake hands anymore. Yeah, I kind of hope it stays. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, locally owned and operated, has been voted best of the area for the 9th consecutive year and proudly supports Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball. Visit Dodge Street Tire for all of your automotive needs, including the best deals on Goodyear and Toyo tires. Dodge Street Tire and Auto celebrating 29 good years on the corner of Dodge and Church Street. Mark from Cedar Rapids, so we'll get to you right after the break. And we'll be back with more Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder, presented by Oaknall on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield.
A sense of pride that comes from the life of a farmer. How many people can say they have a famous tan named after them, or be known for their wave when they drive past neighbors and strangers alike on a 2-lane road? Whether it's a farmer's tan or the farmer's wave, we are proud to be known for a lot of things. We feel that pride every night at the dinner table, knowing we feed our family and yours. Iowa Corn is proud to be on the sidelines cheering on the Iowa Hawkeyes. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
The next time you visit Eastern Iowa, check out the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, the Hotel at Kirkwood Center, Bachmeyer Carpet One Floor and Home, the Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, and Klosterman Construction, building custom homes for 20 years. Klosterman Construction is a premier custom home builder doing everything from remodels to exclusive custom homes. Klosterman takes the stress out of your building project. Award-winning designs, quality craftsmanship, and superior customer service. Call 319-545-7088.
Check out Bumps Restaurant, located on Melrose Avenue in Iowa City, inside the new Nagel Family Clubhouse at Finkbine Golf Course. We use fresh whole ingredients and scratch cooking in all of our dishes. Come enjoy a blackberry avocado salad, our famous pork tenderloin, or maybe our signature Kinnick burger with a side of our fresh hand-cut french fries. And don't forget to try our legendary Mary and handcrafted cocktails. Reservations are encouraged. Make yours today by calling 319-335-9662. Bumps Restaurant, legendary man, legendary food.
Texting while driving is a very dangerous form of distracted driving. Drivers who use handheld devices while driving are 4 times as likely to get into crashes that can injure themselves or others. Drivers of all ages simply don't realize the dangers that are posed when they take their eyes and minds off the road. Everyone needs to do their part. Help save lives. Don't text and drive. This message is brought to you by the Iowa Department of Public Safety, the Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, and your local law enforcement.
Are you looking to downsize from your family home to begin your retirement years? Our Oak Knoll East campus is for you. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. Our new campus has many unique amenities for your active lifestyle, in addition to providing the same great services that Oak Knoll has offered our residents for over 50 years. We're now open and have a few 2-bedroom apartments still available. Call me at 319-351-1720 or visit oakknoll.com to set up your personal tour. Go Hawks!
Oh, you know that old injury of yours? The one in your knee or maybe back? Instead of going to the doctor and then doing physical therapy, why not start with therapy first? Athletico Physical Therapy is changing the whole healing process around. Their physical therapists will find the source of your pain and help fix it. Start with them and start living pain-free. Just like that.
It all starts with Athletico Physical Therapy. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com. No prescription needed. Proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
More Hawk Talk with Coach Lisa Bluder, presented by Oak Knoll, as Iowa, a couple of games this week. Head to Lafayette, Indiana on Wednesday for a Thursday night contest, and that is a 6 o'clock Central tip. And then, as Coach Bluder mentioned, in Nebraska, be some schedules out there that might say TBD or 1 o'clock. At one time that was the case, but that's a 5 o'clock game now, and that's becoming a popular time on Sunday now, huh? A little new TV window there.
Yeah, that TV window, you know, they try to get one, I think, at 1, 3, and 5 maybe, or something like that. So 5 o'clock versus Nebraska. It's right over the dinner hour. I know that, but, you know,
eat after.
Eat afterwards, or have a good old Carver ice cream cone or something, you know?
Well, there'll be plenty of those.
There'll
There's
be
no
plenty
doubt about
of those,
that.
exactly.
That continues to be a busy place. And let's go back to the phones. Mark from Cedar Rapids has been holding. Mark, how are you?
Just fine.
Good.
I just wanted to tell Coach that I really like the way she recruits the states of Minnesota and Wisconsin. Over the years, we've had so many great players from the high schools of those two states. And just kind of like to know what she attributes her success recruiting those two states is.
You know, I'm not. Mark's going to listen. Okay, perfect. Yep. Well, thanks for saying that, Mark. And great observation. We have had some really, really good players from Minnesota and from Wisconsin. You think of Monica Sinano, Chase Coley from Minnesota recently, from Wisconsin, and Hannah Stewart, Wisconsin. Of course, you know, you've got McKenna Warnock and Megan Gustafson and Sam Logic. And so we've had some really, really fine players come from those states. And I think part of it is, you know, they're close in proximity. That's nice. And there's not that many, like in Minnesota, there's one state school. And so one Division I school. Well, I guess now Minnesota St. Thomas has went Division I, but it just recently.
Correct. Just this year.
Just this year. So, you know, it's like the competition, it's a well-populated state and not as much competition. I think also, we like those Minnesota, Wisconsin girls. They work hard. They have those kind of work ethics like the Iowa kids do, and so it's been really good for us.
And obviously, having a winning program feeds into that, so you get to have that conversation with them. And then I think you look at some of the high school players will determine, hey, maybe I don't want to be that close to home.
Right.
I don't mind being 4 or 5 hours away.
Yeah. You're far enough away, but not so far away. And still part
Friends
of
and family can still come see you all the time.
Yeah, and still part of the the really good Big Ten conference, and so it's been really good for us, and we're continuing to try to recruit that area for sure. We've been up there already this year to Minnesota, and over to Wisconsin as well.
Yeah, and you're recruiting every week, even during the season.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll be on the road again. Tomorrow night. So it's that's what you have to do, though. I mean, you got to keep it going. And when we shut down for COVID with those, that little time, we picked up as many games as we could during that week, since we could be out, even though we couldn't be practicing.
Do you all go different directions, or will maybe you and Jan go see a player together? Or?
Sometimes. Depends on your kind of I've got it broken down into areas of the country, so we break our recruiting down geographically, and so basically those coaches will have that area, and if we have a great player in that area, I go to anywhere. But yes, sometimes we'll have a small plane take us up to Minnesota, and 3 of us will be on it, and we'll all 3 go to different games. So something like that to try to get the most bang for our buck, basically.
And I know a couple of the coaches went and saw one of your recruits over in Nebraska right after we touched down on Saturday.
That's right. Taylor McCabe, who's already signed with us, was playing pretty close to Lincoln. And so Jan and Abby both drove over there and watched her play. And it's always fun to watch your players that you've already signed because and then she got to come to the game on Sunday. And, of course, wearing her Iowa stuff and being a Nebraska girl gave her a lot to cheer about. So that was really fun to be able to do that, give her bragging rights for the week, at least at school. So hopefully for the rest of the season, but at least this week we got bragging rights. Absolutely. Getting the opportunity to go see your players that you've already signed is always really fun.
And of course, you mentioned those 2 states, and that's a great observation. But hey, you're not afraid to go to Chicago, Illinois, Ohio, Abby Marshall. So
Yep,
all over the Midwest.
Denver. Addie O'Grady's from Denver, and AJ's from Michigan. So we next year, coming in, we have 2 Iowans and a Nebraska, so a little bit closer group coming in next year.
I mentioned some Iowa fans that were at the game yesterday, and I thought it was just a great scene afterward for Caitlin Clark and the rest of the team to go over and high five and thank everybody for coming.
Well, for them to go over there and sit in that arena, and I'm sure they got some ribbing going on, and so we just wanted to thank them for coming over and making the trip, and it's always fun to do that.
No doubt about that. And of course, today's show is brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light probably welcomes back Hawkeye fans to Carver Hawkeye Arena this year, including Sunday, as Iowa has another game with Nebraska. And, of course, this year Bud Light is for the fans. And we'll talk about Purdue and Nebraska on Sunday when we come back. If you'd like to join the conversation, 1-877-464. Go Hawks. We'll have more with Coach Bluder on Hawk Talk, presented by Oaknall on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield.
Anything can happen when the Cyclones and Hawkeyes come to compete. It's where the rubber meets the road. Neighbors become rivals and friends become foes. Some go home broken-hearted, while others are victorious. When the dust finally settles, one thing stands true. No matter which side you're on, you're part of tradition for those who are Iowan through and through. We're Iowa Corn, a proud sponsor of the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Check out Bump's Restaurant, located on Melrose Avenue in Iowa City, inside the new Nagel Family Clubhouse at Finkbine Golf Course. We use fresh whole ingredients and scratch cooking in all of our dishes. Come enjoy a blackberry avocado salad, our famous pork tenderloin, or maybe our signature Kinnick burger with a side of our fresh hand-cut french fries. And don't forget to try our legendary Mary and handcrafted cocktails. Reservations are encouraged. Make yours today by calling 319-335-9662. Bump's Restaurant, legendary man, legendary food.
Flu season is here, and you can get your flu shot now at your Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and you can schedule your appointment online. Just go to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, you get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. This year, it's more important than ever to stay healthy. So go online to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy today to schedule your flu shot and get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. Some restrictions may apply.
Texting while driving is a very dangerous form of distracted driving. Drivers who use handheld devices while driving are 4 times as likely to get into crashes that can injure themselves or others. Drivers of all ages simply don't realize the dangers that are posed when they take their eyes and minds off the road. Everyone needs to do their part. Help save lives. Don't text and drive. This message is brought to you by the Iowa Department of Public Safety, the Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, and your local law enforcement.
Multi-platinum selling rock group War is coming to the newly remodeled event center at Riverside Casino and Golf Resort on Saturday, March 12th. Hear hits like Why Can't We Be Friends? Lowrider. And more. Tickets are on sale now for War on March 12th at Riverside Casino and Resort.com.
Welcome back to Bumps at Finkbine. Hawk Talk on this chilly Monday night. Appreciate everybody coming out as always. Let's take a look at the S Bank Scoreboard. Yesterday, finals Big Ten women's basketball. Number 8 Michigan bounced back in a big way after losing at Nebraska. Took care of Rutgers 76-47. Number 10 Maryland 87, Minnesota 73. And as we talked about, Purdue, winners of 5 in a row, a 10-point victory over Michigan State, 69-59. Illinois over Wisconsin, 68-47. And Ohio State gets a road victory against Northwestern, 74-61. So you can see, which why we talked about, hey, don't worry about what's happened in the past. Northwestern on a roll and get beat at home against Ohio State. And Nebraska on a big-time roll, only losing 1 game. Hawks take care of the Huskers, and then you got Purdue on a 5-game winning streak and coming off a big victory against Michigan State. And this is a team that is typically athletic, plays pretty good defense, and Mackey Arena, they show up, not an easy place to play.
Yeah, and they have a new coach this year. Katie Gerald was a terrific player at Purdue, and she was named the head coach this year when Sharon Versep left, and Sharon was in the league for a long time, I think 13 or 14 years. And I considered Sharon a friend, and I really like Sharon, and so I'm glad that one of her former players, though, Katie, is just, like I said, a tremendous person and a great basketball player. And so she's brought a little bit different style to Purdue. They're playing all player-to-player defense. Last year, Sharon kind of mixed up her defenses between zone and player. This is a team that's playing all player, and they're really, really shooting a lot of threes. This is a team that we've got to get out on. You got Madison Layden, who lit it up in Carver last year. We had to go triangle and 2 on her, and just to get her under control because she was just doing such a great job, just a phenomenal three-point shooter. Abby Ellis is a player that really didn't do much for him in the past, and she's really coming on. Cassidy Harden is an excellent three-point shooter. You know, we did home visits and visited with both Madison Layden and Cassidy Harden, and both of them wanted to stay in their home state. And so, you know, going against those players that you recruited and that you knew pretty well is always kind of a strange feeling. Yeah. But it's going to be a very good basketball game. Like you say, they always draw well over at Purdue, and so it's going to be a great game. But I just know that our team, having the confidence they have now going into that game, it's really going to help.
And they had Brooke Moore had 22 points in 24 minutes off the bench at Michigan State.
Yeah, that's a lot of bench power coming in, and she has had great games against us. I think in the Big Ten tournament last year, she had 24 points against us. So Brooke Moore, I mean, they have that depth at the guard position. Where they don't have a lot of depth is the inside position, because their starting center did get hurt about 6 games ago. Rashea Kyle, who's a 6'6" center, she either something with her ankle or a stress fracture, I'm not really sure, but they said that she would be back soon, so I'm not sure if she'll be back for our game or not. They do have a 6'4" junior, Ricky Waltman, is filling in for her at the center position, and it does a really good job because she's 6'4", she's athletic, she moves really well, but they don't have the depth like what they do when Rashea is there. So we'll see when we get it there and see who's warming up.
Yeah, we're certainly used to that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And they've always had good inside players with some length and a good rebounding team in the past anyway.
They have. They've always had really good rebounding teams, but I think this team really is hanging their hat on, at least right now, three-point shooting a little bit more than their inside game, just because that's the strength of the women that they have on their roster right now.
And then how strange is it to, in less than a week, come back and play the same team again, but at least it's at home.
Yeah, it makes the scout a little bit easier, right. Just because you only have 1 or 2 games. I'm not sure who they play this week. I can't even remember who Nebraska plays this week before they come to Carver Hawkeye Arena. But, again, that game is at 5 o'clock, and I'm sure it's going to be a rematch because it got a little feisty out there at times. Players were really getting after it, and so I'm sure that, those emotions are still going to be pretty darn high Sunday at 5 o'clock. So we'd love, they had 8,400 people at Nebraska last Sunday for our game. We would love to have a terrific crowd, and we're down to only 2 Sunday games left. This Sunday, and it might be the following. I don't know. There's one other Sunday game. Might be the last game.
Indiana.
Oh, Indiana. Okay.
23rd.
Okay. And then maybe
that's a 5 o'clock game, too.
Yeah. So we're getting down to not very many weekend games left. So please come out and join us Sunday at 5 o'clock and give us that home court atmosphere that they had over in Lincoln, Nebraska last week.
Nebraska's at Indiana Thursday night.
Okay. That's going to be a tough game. But
yeah, so they got a tough week.
Yeah. And they're there?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that, too. Yeah.
And then Michigan is at Penn State on Thursday, and Northwestern at Illinois, and then a couple of games on Wednesday, Michigan State and Ohio State and Minnesota and Wisconsin. So that's the rest of the schedule for Big Ten women's basketball, taking us to the weekend. Here in Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Corn is a multi-purpose crop which benefits the entire state. It feeds our livestock, nourishes our families, and, of course, provides clean-burning fuel for our planet. So thank you, as always, to Iowa's corn farmers. And, of course, everybody here knows that we're here most Mondays for Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder, and certainly appreciate Oaknall's sponsorship here at Bumps Restaurant from 6 until 7. Keep checking the Connect tab at HawkeyeSports.com for the exact date that we're going to be here, and I can tell you what the next 2 are going to be. It'll be on Monday, the 17th of January, and then due to the Penn State game on the 25th, we will move Hawk Talk to the 26th, so January 26th on a Wednesday. So next Monday, and then Wednesday, the 26th, to close out the month. We'll be back with more from Coach Bluder as Hawk Talk continues, presented by Oaknall on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
The next time you visit Eastern Iowa, check out the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, Bachmeyer Carpet One, Floor and Home, Klosterman Construction, and the Hotel at Kirkwood Center, Iowa's premier luxury hotel, named Iowa Tourism's 2021 Hotel of the Year and awarded the AAA 4-Diamond Award for lodging. To make reservations, visit thehotelatkirkwood.com or call 877-751-5111 for more information.
Get your free COVID-19 vaccine at Hy-Vee. Go to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy to schedule an appointment. That's right, just go online and reserve your time. Getting your vaccine has never been easier. This is your shot to help protect yourself and your loved ones from the COVID-19 virus. Just go online to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy and schedule your COVID-19 vaccine. Don't delay. Make your appointment now.
Check out Bump's Restaurant, located on Melrose Avenue in Iowa City, inside the new Nagel Family Clubhouse at Finkbein Golf Course. We use fresh whole ingredients and scratch cooking in all of our dishes. Come enjoy a blackberry avocado salad, our famous pork tenderloin, or maybe our signature Kinnick burger with a side of our fresh hand-cut french fries. And don't forget to try our legendary Mary and handcrafted cocktails. Reservations are encouraged. Make yours today by calling 319-335-9662. Bump's Restaurant, legendary man, legendary food.
The next time you visit Eastern Iowa, check out the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, the Hotel at Kirkwood Center, Klosterman Construction, the Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, and Bachmeyer Carpet One, Floor and Home, home of the beautiful guarantee. Bachmeyer Carpet One is proud to support the Hawkeyes. If you're looking to remodel, build a new home, or just redo a room, we are your flooring store. Outstanding design and sales staff with the knowledge to guide you in a friendly, stress-free atmosphere. Bachmeyer Carpet One. Come visit us.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Last few minutes here at Bumps for Hawk Talk for this week before Iowa heads to Purdue to take on the Boilermakers on Thursday night, and then a blackout Sunday late afternoon at 5 o'clock as the Nebraska Cornhuskers come to town, and that will be a terrific basketball game. Sunday afternoon basketball at Carver Hawkeye. Coach did have a Facebook question from Brandon, and was curious as to what is the record for Big Ten Players of the Week. And either Jantel Lavender or Megan would have that. I'm not sure if Megan, I'll do some research this week and have the answer on Monday, but I think it's one of those two. And then obviously Caitlin Clark will have an opportunity to get into that neighborhood as well.
Yeah, I don't have any idea. Kelsey Mitchell's another one that it could be too.
No, you're right.
From Ohio State as well. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. Those I bet you it's one of those three though. Would be my guess.
Yeah. Good guess.
Well, we've talked a lot about basketball on the floor, and I just want to give a kudos to you and the staff and the players especially, but just the terrific job that they did in the classroom.
Oh, yeah.
First semester, just incredible. And I know that's emphasized by the staff, and obviously the players are well into the books as well. And that's not an easy thing to do, to play Division I athletics and take the majors that they do and do so well.
Yeah, I really appreciate you bringing that up, Rob. Our team grade point average last semester was 3.56. We had, that's pretty amazing.
That's up there.
Yeah, and 9 women on the dean's list and 1 making the president's list. That was Sharon Goodman making the president's list with over a 4.0. So just doing a tremendous job in the classroom. Really, really proud of them.
And she continues to work and is, I think, ahead of schedule as far as getting back. And that's a tough thing to go through, injuries, but it looks like everybody's on a good path.
Yeah, Sharon Goodman and Shatia Wettering both out this year with ACL tears, both recovering. Jenny Sturter's our athletic trainer. You got to talk to her last week. She does such a great job. I mean, even on the shoot-around days, we go to shoot-around. Those two are working with her and getting them back. So hope to have them back next year.
No doubt about it. They'll be ready to go.
See you at 5 o'clock
Great
Sunday.
Attitudes. Absolutely. And, of course, off to Purdue first, and then Iowa and Nebraska. Want to see everybody out there. A terrific atmosphere in Carver Hawkeye. We need it, and hope to be talking about 2 straight victories heading to Sunday. Appreciate everybody coming out and listening on the network. Good night from Bumps.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this has been Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder. Brought to you by Bud Light. It's for the fans. Hy-Vee, the official grocer partner of Iowa Hawkeyes basketball. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. Governor's Traffic and Safety Bureau by the Iowa Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, who reminds you to click it or ticket day or night. By University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. And by Authentic Brand. Look authentic, feel authentic, be authentic. Get your game day gear online at authentic-brand.com. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network. On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, live from the Hyatt Regency, this is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. Brought to you by Bud Light. It's for the fans. Brought to you by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Hy-Vee, the official grocer partner of Iowa Hawkeyes basketball. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. U.S. Bank, life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. U.S. Cellular, today's game brought to you by U.S. Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. And by Hyatt Regency, caring for people so they can be their best. Now, here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
In the dead of winter and not quite the middle of January, 10 days in. It's Big Ten basketball, January, February, and early March. And those games are going to start coming fast, hot and heavy for Iowa Hawkeye basketball as the Hawks are back on the court Thursday night to host the Indiana Hoosiers. First-year head coach Mike Woodson. He's far from a rookie coach, though. He's been involved in coaching after his NBA career concluded in the NBA primarily. We'll talk about that. But a coach is a coach, and he'll bring his Hoosiers in here on Thursday night for an 8 o'clock tip-off at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Good evening, everybody. I'm Gary Dolphin alongside head coach Fran McCaffery and, of course, former Hawkeye great Bobby Hansen as we join you on our 55-station Hawkeye Radio Network live from the Hyatt Regency in Coralville's Iowa River Landing. We're at the Edgewater Grill and Bar where you can enjoy extended happy hour until 8:30. Come and enjoy the brand new menu here at the Edgewater featuring items like New Orleans bucatini, buffalo cauliflower, and baked caramel apples. It's a great looking new list. The bar is now offering whiskey flights with over 40 varieties of whiskey to choose from. Your favorite bourbon, your favorite alcohol is here on the back of the bar, and they've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 flat screens that I can see that will be tuned in not only to this show but to the national championship football game tonight when we leave air. Alabama and Georgia getting ready to kickoff down in Indianapolis, where we were a few weeks ago with the Hawks and the Michigan Wolverines. The bar is now offering whiskey flights, over 40 varieties. Each time you come to the show, the Fran McCaffery Hawk Talk program, you're entered into the hotel's drawing to win a range of prizes, including a free room night giveaway each week. Did you hear that right? Free room night giveaway each week at the beautiful remodeled Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing. All entries will be pooled together for a grand prize drawing at the end of the season. The Hawkeyes come into Thursday night's game 11-4, 1-3 in the Big Ten. Indiana 12-3, 3-2 in conference play. Got a big victory at home yesterday against Minnesota. The Hoosiers are unbeaten at home, but 0-3 in true road games. So the Hawks last played at Wisconsin on Thursday night, had Friday off, had a hard practice on Saturday, and we're off yesterday and today. And Coach McCaffery, they'll be back in the gym. Boy, a couple days off this time of year for your guys. They've got to be chomping at the bit to get after it.
Yeah, I think so. But, you know, it's a long season, and you got to rest them. We got a couple guys with, you know, a couple injuries, so that, you know, they're living in the training room with Brad and getting that taken care of. So we'll be ready to go on Thursday.
Coach, the one player I'm concerned with is Keegan. He took a really hard fall on his hip, I guess.
Yeah.
It was. He came back, so that was good to see.
He came back. He's done that twice. He did the same thing, as you remember, against Virginia. He tweaked his ankle, came back in that game. That was great to see. You know, those guys were in the training room yesterday, along with a few others, just, you know, getting treatment, feeling better. Then they'll get out and they'll do a little bit of workout. You know, a lot of guys are working out on their own today. The rules have changed. You have certain requirements in terms of mandatory off days. So you have to get those mandatory off days in where you have a week between games, which is not usual this time of year. They pretty much come every couple days, right? So this is kind of like our bye week, essentially, you would say. So, you know, we squeeze those mandatory off days in, which actually came at a good time because, like I said, a couple guys were banged up.
Fran, the aftermath of the Wisconsin game, you've broken that tape down. What'd you see? Obviously, rebounding was a huge factor in that game.
I think rebounding and defense was not what it needed to be. I mean, give them credit. They had about 6 times where we were really in their face at the end of the shot clock, and they made tough shots. So you got to give them credit for that. We had, I think, a lot of good things that happened in that game. You don't sometimes notice it when you lose, but there were a lot of good things. You know, we had some transition stuff going on. We had some certain individuals play well, but it's an opportunity to learn and get better.
Midway through that first half, it's a 1-point game. They went off on, I think it was a 12-0 run, if memory serves me correct. You battled back with an 8-0 run, and they finished the half strong, got up 13. You're never out of a game down 13 at halftime. What was the conversation like at half? Because Wisconsin's tough to beat at home.
Yeah, they are, but you know, obviously we didn't like the way the first half ended at all. That's a topic that we could probably do an entire show on. But you know, you get to halftime and you kind of you got to move on from that play. You know, you deal with it at the time, and then you move on from it. Wasn't real happy with how we came out in the second half defensively. Offensively, we were fine, but defensively, we didn't get the tough stops and the big rebounds when we needed them. I thought, you know, we moved the ball, we shared the ball. A lot of different guys, you know, did some good things offensively. But we just have to be more consistent on the glass and more consistent with our defending dribble penetration, defending ball screens, whatever they're running.
And, Coach, if we could go back to that final play where the Wisconsin player clearly kicked his foot out or kicked his leg out like World B. Free used to do to us in the NBA. I was a victim of that many a times, and he'd make it.
That was before people really figured out that guys were doing that.
Yeah, that was kind of like part of the game, I guess.
Yeah,
but in this one, when we broke the video down at halftime, Bill Maxwell and I were standing there, and everybody had it on their phone. It's like, he kicked his leg out. I mean, I'm not going to ask you any more than that. What is the recourse? Do you send a report into the Big Ten officials, or you just make your beef and be done with it?
Well, you know, in that particular case, you know, there's been a lot of beef with regard to those plays and that situation, specifically. So, I'm at the point where, I've said what I needed to say about it. We're moving on.
Yeah.
Coach McCaffery is here till 8 o'clock tonight at the beautiful Edgewater Grill and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency. You can reach us on Twitter and on Facebook. On Twitter, the locale is @GaryDolphin. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/Voice of the Hawkeyes. You can call into our U.S. Cellular Hawkeye hotline if you so choose and leave a question or a comment for Coach Bobby or I. That toll-free number is 877-464-2957, 1-877-464-2957. We're brought to you tonight by Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch. Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery, courtesy of Bud Light. Bud Light, happy to welcome fans back to Carver Hawkeye Arena this year. Bud Light is for the fans. First look at Indiana, Coach. They got a big win at home yesterday against the Hoosiers. They hit some perimeter jump shots, but it starts inside out with Trace Jackson-Davis and Race Thompson's playing well.
They're both playing really well. Race is playing like Trace is playing like an All-American. Race is doing kind of what you thought. I mean, he's a veteran guy. He complements Trace really well. Really active on the glass. Scoring the ball pretty well as well. And so now you got two guys that are flying in the glass, two guys that are athletic, and two guys that are scoring the ball. So you're right. It starts there. But Trace has really, I think, as good as he was last year, and he was an all-league player last year, he's kind of taken it to a whole nother level. I mean, he's playing, in my opinion, like a first-team All-American. And they go to him. Mm-hmm. They come down the floor, and they make no mistake about it. It's not like how we used to go to Luka. Luka was getting touches. We were going in. We were running stuff for him, and the guys were. It's not like Wieskamp didn't have the green light or Jordan Bohannon didn't have the green light. They most certainly did, but everybody was locked into making sure that the best player in the country was getting touches, and Luka, as we talked before, became a much better passer out of the post. In his freshman, sophomore year, he was okay. His junior and senior year, he was really good at it. So that made it even more effective as an offense to go through him in and out to the weak side. And that's what they're doing with Trace. And he's a much better passer than he's been in the past as well. So their calling card is their defense. They're the X's on the O. They're in your space. They're fighting cuts. They're fighting dribble handoffs. They're fighting you in the post. Really physical, really deep club. They play a lot of guys. And they had Trey Galloway was out. He's back. A really good player. But they have a lot of ways that they can go. They have size. They have wings. They have ball handlers. They have veteran guys. They have some new guys. They went to the portal, got some guys. So it's a different club in some respects than they had last year, obviously with a new coach, but really talented group top to bottom.
Well, we might do a double take, forgive us, with Miller Kopp on the floor Thursday night. If that name sounds familiar, Hawk fans, yeah, that Miller Kopp from Northwestern jumped into the portal and ended up at the University of Indiana, and he's putting up decent numbers. I mean, he's trying to fit into Mike Woodson's system. They all are, but you know what Miller Kopp can do.
Well, I give the kid credit, because, he probably figured, into his senior year, he wants to get a lot more shots, and what he's doing is he's trying to fit into what they're doing and helping them win games. So, there was one game, the Syracuse game, he had 28, so he really, really played well. Hit 6 threes in that game. But some of the other games, he's getting 5 shots, 6 shots, and he's been very efficient. But he's feeding the post. He's moving without the ball. I mean, they move the ball, and they get it inside, and they attack the rim. So I think collectively, they have a lot of different guys that could be getting 15 or 20, but they're all sacrificing to help that team win. So it's credit to Mike.
Coach, you mentioned the depth that they have, and one guy I've liked over the years is Rob Finney. He had a big game looking at the box score against Minnesota last night. Finney off the bench, 30 minutes, 4 of 10, 4 of 9, 3-point shooting, had 13 points, 4 assists, no turnovers. So I know you always liked Rob.
He's a terrific player. I mean, I'm very high on his game. They went and got Xavier Johnson out of the transfer portal, transfer from Pitt, 1,000-point scorer at Pitt. So he starts, and then Finney comes in. Now, they do play them together some, Rob's shooting the ball well, like you pointed out, Bob. He made 4 threes yesterday. You know, he's one of those guys. If you don't respect him, he's going to bang 3 or 4 threes on you, and you got to know and understand that about him. But he can get to the rim. He plays like a veteran. So you have 2 guys that are basically seniors, you know, in the backcourt. One starts, one doesn't. Miller Kopp's a senior. You know, Race is a senior. Trace is a junior. So you got a veteran club there.
Coach, Mike Woodson, his first year, he played 11 years in the NBA and coached a good number of years as well at the pro level. They've gone to Mike from Archie Miller. What are the differences in style, if at all?
Both are really good. You know, they're different. You know they're going to be different. I mean, Mike was a really good player.
Great player.
You know, I mean, you remember him as a phenomenal college player. You don't play 11 years in the NBA unless you're a special talent. Mike's got a really good way about him. You know, make no mistake who's in charge, but he's not an in-your-face guy. You know, he just very confident in how he does things. As I pointed out, their calling card is defense, so I think he wanted to establish that right off the bat. You know, their half-court man-to-man defense is tough, it's physical, as you would expect anybody who played for Bobby Knight and played in the NBA for that many years. You know, it's pretty much man-to-man in that league. They run good stuff. You know, he's got one of the best post players in college basketball. You know, a guy's going to be a first-round pick, so he's throwing the ball to him like we talked about earlier. They run a variety of things to get him the ball, but they push it. They play fast. I think they really go. You know, the old Tom Izzo saying, turnovers to touchdowns. You turn it over or you shoot a bad shot. They're just blowing it up the floor and trying to score quickly, and they've got the speed to do that.
Coach McCaffery with us till 8 o'clock tonight. You can text or check in on Facebook with your comments or questions for Coach McCaffery. Indiana and Iowa Thursday night at 8 o'clock here on the Hawkeye Radio Network with our pregame coverage starting at 7 o'clock. And then it's to Minnesota on Sunday. So it's a big week of Big Ten basketball, and they're going to come fast and furious at Rutgers, Penn State and Purdue at home, then at Penn State, at Ohio State. That gets us to the first week of February. So it's really going to be exciting going forward from this point on. Not that it hasn't been, but the Hawkeyes look to bounce back from a tough defeat at Wisconsin with a knockout of Indiana Thursday night. Indiana, I mentioned they lost their 3 true road games. I should point out they fell at Syracuse. Coach, you mentioned the Orange 112 to 110 in overtime. They lost at Wisconsin by 5. But I remember watching that game. They had a big lead on the Badgers and Wisconsin roared back, and then they lost by 3 at Penn State. So while the record shows 0-3, they've played pretty good in spurts on the road.
Yeah, I thought they had the Syracuse game won a couple times, but if you watch that game, it was double overtime loss. It looked like Syracuse had the game won a couple times. It was one of those games. The Boeheim brothers were really good that night. Joe Girard hit some big shots. They fouled him with .8 in a tie game in the second overtime. They missed a couple free throws. Trace made 2 to put it in overtime with just a couple seconds left. He got fouled. They were down 3. They fouled. It's one of those situations where you're down 3, so you foul. Lander makes the first, misses the second on purpose. Trace gets the rebound, gets fouled. Almost was an N1, so they almost lost in regulation. But the other games, they played extremely well at Wisconsin, and they hit one of those, coming down the stretch, one of those scoring droughts. They probably went, 6 or 7 possessions in a row coming down the stretch where they didn't score, and it looked like they were running good stuff. They got pretty good shots. The ball just didn't go in, and Wisconsin capitalized on that. So it's a team that is clearly capable of playing on the road with the talent that they have and the veterans that they have as well.
Coach, just before we go to a break here, just kind of lighten it up a little bit. But all the coaches around the country wearing the warm-ups or the casual look, if you will. And Mike Woodson, I see, has a suit on half the games, or at least the games in.
Yeah, he must have a reason for
dressing up.
Well, it seems like he's wearing the suits at home, and maybe on the road he goes casual.
Oh, okay.
But there are a lot of different programs that are going either way.
What do you prefer?
I am thrilled that we're casual from now on.
Why not?
It is, think about it. All those years, you're packing and you got the garment bag and you got your suit and your dress shirt. You got to iron your shirt and pick out your tie and, we were
pizza on the bus and get it on you.
Exactly. And so we wear casual pants, a nice little half zip, sneaks.
Life is good.
Put your coat on and get on the bus and get on a plane and fly home.
Grab your pizza and get going.
You take a little travel bag with you on the road. It's great.
Sign of the
Hope
times.
it holds.
I think it will.
All right, with that, we'll take a break here. Our first break of the night with Hawk Talk and Fran McCaffery. We're live at the Hyatt Regency. Nice crowd on hand tonight. We'd love to see you come through the door at Coralville's Edgewater Grill and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency. We're here until 8:30. Coach is here for at least the next 45 minutes or so. And we're brought to you in part by U.S. Cellular, America's locally grown wireless with a nationwide network built from your town up. We're proud to be the official wireless provider of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Back in just a couple minutes with more of your calls, Facebook posts, and Twitter feed, comments, and questions for Coach McCaffery after this on Hawk Talk from Learfield.
In Iowa, we grow corn, a lot of corn. We love seeing our farmers in the fields, and although they're perfect strangers, we know them. We know them by their equipment covered in dust. We know them by their work ethic, where days off don't exist. We know them by the way they wave, passing strangers alike on a two-lane road. We know them in the midst of our kitchen as we prepare another family meal. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. The Iowa corn farmers are proud to be on the sidelines for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
When you build a network locally engineered for the home team, you know how important a strong connection is on game day. So you give every fan in town access to 5G at no extra charge. Now, when you switch to U.S. Cellular, you can get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Join the nationwide network built from your town up and stay connected to your home team with U.S. Cellular 5G. Switch today and get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Terms apply. 5G not available everywhere. See uscellular.com for details.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
This is John.
Hey, my name is John Jackson.
He's not some actor. He's a steward of the land with a John Deere 3 Series tractor and a PTO Quick Connect that hooks up rear implements with a single click. John runs with us because to him, there's nothing more important than connecting with the land. Nothing runs like a Deere. Hear John's story at Deere.com.
Stop by your local John Deere dealer for a test drive today or learn more at Deere.com. Your Iowa John Deere dealers, proud sponsors of Hawkeye basketball. Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly transformed Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center. Located in the heart of the Iowa River Landing. Walking distance to Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeyes volleyball team, as well as some great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency is the new home of Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery this fall. Come find your place at Hyatt Regency, where we care for people so they can be their best.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. The Hawks host Indiana Thursday night. I'm Gary Dolphin alongside broadcast partner Bobby Hansen, and we're here until 8:30 tonight taking your questions or comments on Facebook, Twitter, or over the phone. And we appreciate your audience participation, of course. Let's go to Tom on Twitter. Coach McCaffery. Coach, do you have a pregame ritual?
No, I really don't.
Other than sitting down with me face to face, that's tough enough.
We do that. We do that at the pregame meal.
We do.
You know, I mean,
we do. Chance to get caught up before we get on the air, but
I pretty much just stay in the locker room. I don't go out and socialize much. Just kind of get my thoughts together, get ready, for what we think is going to work offensively, what we think is going to work defensively, and we do a lot of things with the team. Mm-hmm. We keep going back over the same stuff over and over and over and over.
Repetitive, yeah.
And it relates to what? It relates to personnel. It relates to specifically what we worked on that week that we think will work against them offensively, what we think will work against them defensively, and just make sure the guys are really locked in. And, we rely, too, on our veteran guys. Sure. Connor and J-Bo in particular, those two guys, and making sure our younger guys are locked in.
And you're going to have a lot of those two-day preps coming up here starting this week.
Exactly.
And that's a lot of information cram when you're going from different colored uniform to the next one over the next 2 months.
You're 100% right, Dolph. The scouting reports are really thorough, and the guys do a phenomenal job, whoever scout it is. Billy's got the next one. Kirk had the last one. So it's film review. So we're pulling clips of that team. We're pulling clips of those individual players. We're pulling clips of our game against them last year, stuff that worked, stuff that didn't work, stuff that they did to us. It's changing if you had, like, for example, Wisconsin's different than Indiana because Indiana's a new coach. Indiana went into the portal, got some new guys. Some teams have a lot of the same guys back, some don't. But our guys know and understand how to prepare for a game, what they need to know. We'll have certain calls that we want them to be aware of. Certain plays that they like to run a lot, stuff they're going to go to after timeouts. What are they going to do after timeouts? Are they changing defenses? They're staying with the same defense. All that kind of stuff.
And Coach, we had Sherman on filling in for you last week. He kind of broke that down a little bit, and I complimented him on all three of those guys. Billy, Kirk, and Sherman take great pride in their scouting reports. And I watch all those games and watch them over again, and then he gets with you, and he complimented you as well on picking up some nuances that he may have not seen in the review.
You know what's interesting? What I found, over the years is, those guys, like Sherman said, they watch a ton of games. Maybe it's depending upon how much time we have. They might watch 15 games, 17, whatever. And then when they start watching them with me, they're watching them over again. And you think, well, I already watched that game. Do I have to watch it again? Well, he'll pick up stuff as well, watching it for the second time. So when we watch it for the first time with me, because I was working on the last game while he was working on this game, he'll be giving me information, Kirk, Sherm, Billy, okay, this is what they're doing here, this is what they're doing here, this is what they call this, what they, so then it's my job to know and understand and sort of process that, and then collectively we'll figure out, okay, what are we going to do against that? What are we going to run against that? Okay, what are they going to run against us? What are they going to run, at critical times in the game? It's not complicated, Indiana's going to throw the ball to Trace. But that's not all they do. They've got shooters. They've got other stuff they can go to. They've got counters. And then, of course, for us, what are they going to do against the 1-2-2? What are they going to do against our 2-3 zone? All that kind of stuff. But throughout the course of it, I'll be asking them questions. And then that's how we come up with maybe a couple of different nuances that are little things that might make a difference. That we can give the guys that they can kind of hold on to. It's like when you're, especially Bobby, and you played at the highest level, when you're on the road, you're out there, the five of you are out there, they can't hear me all the time. Maybe if the offense is right in front of you or the defense is right in front of you, you might be able to, but a lot of times they can't hear no matter what. So they have to be able to hold on to the game plan intelligently and collectively and help each other and remind each other, because when it gets loud and the other team's on a run and everything's going crazy out there, what are you thinking about? How well have you prepared for that? It's one thing to sit in a meeting room and say, okay, well, they're going to do this, we're going to do that. That's great. But what happens when you're getting trapped, or they're rotating, or something is a little bit different than what we had talked about, how do you react? Well, you react because you know and understand our personnel. We understand their personnel. We understand what we think we can do. And you go back to, all right, we have certain defensive rules, for example. Follow your rules. Well, maybe we're going to do a few things differently against this team at this particular time. We're going to play more zone, less zone, press more, press less. We didn't think we were going to press, well, we better start pressing, because they're getting it down. Whatever. Something happens in the game, now we have to adjust. Well, the only way you can do that is if you have guys that are locked into what the game plan is, so you can make those adjustments as the game is happening without mistakes. And that's where mistakes come, especially with young guys.
And I think one of your best defenses is that three-quarter. We talked about 100 times, but I really like that 1-2-2, and not meant to steal the ball, but there are times when you're getting some 10-second calls.
Some 10-second calls, you get a couple deflections. Remember the big deflection Patrick got up against Utah State and the dunk? Mm-hmm. So it can be a game changer.
Where'd you pick that up, Fran?
I picked that up from Rolly Massimino.
Oh, okay.
Okay, when I was at UNCG, Mitch Bonagora was my assistant. He was Rolly's top assistant on the '85 national championship team. So Rolly came down. We had a camp. We invited Rolly in to speak to all the coaches, and he spent about a day and a half with us. We just X and O'd, which is what Rolly loves to do. The way he processes the game, it's next level stuff. And so he talked about how he put it in, why he put it in. And I think one of the most important things that he said was, this is how I did it. Okay, this is why I did it, this is how I did it, and it was really sophisticated. He said, but you got to do what you think is going to work for you. You can take sort of this framework and make it work for you. So that's what I've always done. And anytime I've talked to other coaches about this particular defense, I've said the same thing. What's your personnel? When do you want to use it? How comfortable are you? How are you extending the floor? Like when I worked with John McLeod, he didn't want to extend the floor. He felt like if we're playing a good team, which is, we played in the Big East in those days, if you take your defense and stretch it, you're giving more space to the offense. Why would you do that? Okay, so you have to be comfortable enough with, we're going to extend, and we're going to give quick guys, or guys flash in, they can turn and go score. They can skip it and hit a quick three, things like that. But what's been interesting about that particular defense is he ran it back before there was a clock. So now you're running that defense with a 30-second shot clock.
Yeah.
So like you said, there's times when we're going to get steals and we're going to create offense with our defense. But if we don't, and the only thing that happens is they utilize 10 to 12 seconds. Now they only have 18 seconds left. So a lot of teams run continuity ball screen action, or they'll run a set with a variety of counters or options. Well, the less time you have to run that, the less effective it is, and the greater likelihood is that we're not going to get hung up on a particular part of that action, whether it be a ball screen or a flip screen or a stagger double or a screen to screener. You're only, a lot of, we talk about continuity ball screen. Well, it's ball screen one side, ball screen the other side, ball screen the other side. Maybe they're flipping it, maybe they're running a flat. Well, that stuff gets hard to do after a while. But if you limit the amount of time, you might only have to guard one ball screen roll. You take care of that, now somebody's shooting the ball. And then we can get it and go. So it not only is something that's been effective, but it factors into our philosophy, which is going to speed the game up and give us opportunities to run in transition offensively.
Yeah, whenever I see other teams do it now, I call it a Philly press. All the guys in Philadelphia are running that, but I think about
Jay Wright does a really good job with it. What's funny about Jay, see, when we first put it in, remember Rolly said do it, we went to 1-2-2 back to a 1-2-2 and just kind of flowed back into it. The guys are in the same spots. It makes sense. And I was watching Jay, and Jay went back man. Now what that's going to mean is you might not be guarding the guy that you were supposed to be guarding. You pick up the nearest guy, and then we rotate out of it. So you're relying on your guys' instincts. And when I tried it, at Siena, it wasn't very effective, the 1-2-2 back to a man-to-man. But when I got here, we've done a really good job with that. We do both, by the way. And it's another thing that your opponent has to prepare for.
I'm reminded of it every time I drive home after a game or after the Hawk Talk. Those windmills out in Iowa County. It looks like Patrick out there waving his arms. You're driving into the red blinking windmills out there.
Exactly. He's been really active. He's got good instincts up there, and then he can catch it and just go dunk it real quick.
Your point is to get them in a hurry up, though, because if it takes them 10 seconds to get across the midcourt stripe, now when they get across, they're spread out and they're looking what action to run.
Exactly right, Dolph. So they're rushing themselves, and sometimes they'll just go ahead and shoot it. They won't even set anything up. Now that can be risky. They can just jack from 22
30
feet. It's 3 points, but a lot of teams, they want to come down and they want to be organized. They want to call something. They want to run it, and that limits their effectiveness in being able to do that.
And to your point about guys thinking on their feet in the heat of action with 20,000 people yelling at them, one thing you do that I love 4 or 5 hours before tip-off, right before the team meal, is you have a meeting and you pop quiz them. You throw stuff at them that they might not be expecting from the scouting report.
The reason we do that, Dolph, is for many, many years, you played for me, I give you a scouting report, I assume you're going to read it. And we put all that same information on the board, which will be up there for 2 days.
Right.
And we'll show you clips. So we're basically giving you the answers to the test. But what we found was that there's a few guys, you keep giving them information, and then when you'd ask them for it back, they couldn't give it to you. So maybe they just had a little more difficult time processing it. Assimilating it, and then you're saying to yourself, okay, well, when they go out on the floor, are they going to be able to apply it?
Right.
Well, maybe not. But if you require them to give you those answers, well, now they know. Okay?
What's a typical question, Coach? Trace Jackson, right-handed or left-handed? That's pretty simple.
Okay. All right, a post player, is he going to turn right shoulder, is he going to turn left shoulder in the post? Can he shoot a jump hook?
They should know that.
Is he? Some guys are just heavy one shoulder.
Yep.
Some guys are really effective. They can get 2 feet in the paint. So if you can get them out 3 or 4 feet off the block, they're not as effective. And you look at the numbers. All right. And then you look at, okay, who's going to stick man, turn and face and rip and drive. All right. So now you're playing like Johnny Davis the other night. He's right-handed. Better going left. Okay. You show him and we crunch the numbers too. He's way more effective going left. So, but then we're taking guys to ball screens. We're not icing ball screens. But if they're ball screen overload against the zone, then we're icing ball screens. So they need to know that. So if, like Maryland was running all ball screen overload against the zone, and we were making some mistakes in that game. Connor's the one who got it straightened out. When he was in the game, other guys were not icing the ball screens because why? Well, they didn't pick it up quick enough. I knew we were supposed to ice, but I didn't recognize right away that it was ball screen overload. So, but the more you talk about that in an environment which is a teaching environment, it's not screaming at you because you got an answer wrong. It's making sure that you know the information and understand what we're talking about, so that when you're out there, you can, in a relaxed way, effectively perform. And that's the goal.
Coach, on that note, Henry, by the way, our YouTube chat room is available. We got Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery on live on youtube.com. Search Iowa Hawkeyes. Henry's doing that. He wants to know how technology is used within the program. Do players have iPads? How soon can they receive a video breakdown after a game?
Yeah, they have their iPads. We have all of the editing equipment that you would ever need. And we also have access to all the numbers that would explain, we make a teaching point. Okay, what are the numbers that, kind of support that? And we give them those numbers. So they become real students of the game. It's not, I think back to when I was playing, we got a scouting report. And we would talk about it the day before the game. and we would try to do the best we could with it. But ultimately, we were really concerned about ourselves. What are we doing? Now it's just way more sophisticated. We start, the assistant coach that we were talking about, he's starting way before, a week before, and then I'm starting 3 or 4 days before, whatever, and then the players are introduced 2 days before. So this information is being hammered into their brains to where they're very comfortable with knowing and understanding who we're playing, what our thought process is. But like I said, I mean, the critical thing is that you have players that have enough basketball intellect to change on the fly. Sometimes the greatest game plan is an absolute debacle. I always go back to this one game in my career. We played Ohio State in the first round of the NCAA tournament in 2009. We watched tape for a week. We had an unbelievable scouting report put together. We told them we were going to do 9 minutes into the game. It was like, okay, it's gone.
Get rid of it.
We're starting over right now. Now, if you don't have a team that can do that, you're looking at a 30-point L. We got down 16. Nothing was working offensively. Nothing was working defensively. We changed everything in a timeout. They came back and won the game in double overtime.
To do.
It really is. But those guys were so smart.
Yeah.
Now, we also had a veteran group. That helps.
That helps.
They were a bunch of upperclassmen. They were a confident group. We were playing in Dayton. You can imagine. You think there were more Ohio State fans in Dayton or Siena fans?
Yes, there are a few more Ohio State fans.
A few more Ohio State fans that night. And a lot more red than there was green.
They were seeing red and green when they left the building, though.
Yeah.
And that plays into how you recruit now, and we can pick up on that when we come back. When you look at GPAs as well as basketball skills, they both are melded at the hip, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Coach McCaffery's here for the next little while on Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. I'm Gary Dolphin with Bobby Hansen, and we're brought to you by Authentic Brand. To look and feel our best, Bobby and I reach for our Authentic Brand gear. The style and comfort of Authentic Brand by TCB Companies delivers that boost of confidence to be our best. Outfit your life with Authentic Brand gear by TCB Companies, and don't just do it in Authentic Brand. We're brought to you tonight by Wellmark. Blue is caring, blue is convenient, and now blue is Medicare Advantage from Wellmark Advantage Health Plans, offering all-in-one Medicare coverage, our extensive network, and the confidence of being covered by Wellmark, Blue Cross, and Blue Shield. Learn more at wellmarkadvantage.com. Wellmark, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, a proud supporter of Iowa Hawkeye basketball. We'll be right back to the Hyatt Regency and more Pinpoint, the Edgewater Grill and Bar. We're waiting for you. Come on in. We're here until 8:30 tonight. This is Hawk Talk from Learfield.
What are you craving? The Wig and Pin in Ankeny, across from DMAC, is proud to offer dine-in and carry-out. Home of the famous Flying Tomato Pizza and Chicago-style deep dish, the Wig has all of your favorites, including thin crust pizza, appetizers, lots of sandwiches like the Turkey Club and Reuben, soups and salads you'll love, and a full bar. Call to order or just come on in for lunch and dinner. The Wig and Pin in Ankeny. What are you craving?
Hi, Hawk fans. This is Gary Dolphin. I've been telling you about Authentic Brand's superb Hawkeye gear. But did you know Authentic Brand by TCB Companies is an official outfitter of well-known enterprises and organizations, including iHeartRadio Group and Learfield? The style and comfort and great looks of Authentic Brand gear, both sporty and professional, will give your image a boost. Outfit your personal and professional life in Authentic Brand gear.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
There's a sense of pride that comes from the life of a farmer. How many people can say they have a famous tan named after them, or be known for their wave when they drive past neighbors and strangers alike on a 2-lane road? Whether it's a farmer's tan or the farmer's wave, we are proud to be known for a lot of things. We feel that pride every night at the dinner table, knowing we feed our family and yours. Iowa Corn is proud to be on the sidelines cheering on the Iowa Hawkeyes. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
Texting while driving is a very dangerous form of distracted driving. Drivers who use handheld devices while driving are 4 times as likely to get into crashes that can injure themselves or others. Drivers of all ages simply don't realize the dangers that are posed when they take their eyes and minds off the road. Everyone needs to do their part. Help save lives. Don't text and drive. This message is brought to you by the Iowa Department of Public Safety, the Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, and your local law enforcement.
The next time you visit Eastern Iowa, check out the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, the Hotel at Kirkwood Center, Bachmeyer Carpet One Floor and Home, the Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, and Klosterman Construction, building custom homes for 20 years. Klosterman Construction is a premier custom home builder doing everything from remodels to exclusive custom homes. Klosterman takes the stress out of your building project. Award-winning designs, quality craftsmanship, and superior customer service. Call 319-545-7088.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk. Live and in color from the beautiful Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing. Gary Dolphin with Bobby Hansen and Coach Fran McCaffery. We're here till 8:30 tonight. Coach will be here until 8 o'clock taking your questions or calls. Want to remind you that Indiana comes to town Thursday. That's an 8 o'clock start. Another 8 o'clock start. The start times will balance out over the course of a season, but tickets are on sale for all Iowa home games at 1-800-IA-HAWKS. 1-800-IA-HAWKS, or just log on to HawkeyeSports.com, and they'll have the tickets ready for you at the will call window when you come out Thursday night. Indiana is 12-3 on the season, 3-2 in the Big Ten. The Hawks have won 11, lost 4. Should be a terrific game. Indiana got the sweep of the Hawkeyes last year. Iowa looks to return the favor this year. This is the only regular season meeting, I should point out, but of course they could meet in the Big Ten tournament in Indianapolis coming up later on. Speaking of Indianapolis, on our U.S. Bank Scoreboard, Alabama and Georgia are underway. Alabama leads 3-0 about midway through the first period for the College Football Playoff National Championship down at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indy, and we'll keep you posted on that score between now and 8:30 tonight. That game just underway down in Indianapolis. All right, back to Twitter and Facebook for Coach McCaffery. Before we get back to the questions from our wonderful listeners, Coach, the other night, Agundale, Josh, and Riley Mulvey got some, I thought, significant minutes and really produced for you in that second half when you needed big guys to try and combat the rebounding edge for Wisconsin. They only threw 2 7-footers at you.
Yeah, those two played really well, Dolph. The thing that was impressive to me, I mean, physically they were challenging their post players, which is what we needed, but both of them ran the floor. Josh, crowd tried to spin and wheel on him, and Josh stood him up, made him miss, and then beat him down the floor. And when he did that, Keegan took it coast to coast and laid the ball up. Then Riley did the same thing, and we ended up with a layup. I think it was Jordan got a layup, so right. When your big guys run like that, it opens up space for everybody else in our transition game. Those two guys can run. That's why we recruited them in the first place. Riley is really getting there. Good. Josh, I'm proud of him. He had that injury, so he was a little setback. But both of those guys are effective, and they're going to get more and more playing time.
That's good to hear. I was going to ask you if they're going to get more minutes. I think they earned it the other night at the Kohl Center.
They certainly did, and especially with some of the teams in our league that are just really big.
Indeed.
It's crazy to think that Riley should be a senior in high school, Fran. And I love watching his enthusiasm, if you will. I mean, he just looks like he's having the time of his life.
He does. What we need him to do is be a little nastier.
That'll come.
We would like for him to be nasty. There's other words I could use too.
Yeah. But, looks like he can do it.
He's just a sweet kid. I mean, but you're right. He's always upbeat. That kid has never had a bad day in his life. I mean, you got to love. He comes in the locker room with a smile, and works hard. really trying to get better, and he is. And one of the reasons why he came here was I think he had to make a decision. Okay, come now and go through what we're going to practice every day, watch film, play some, don't play some, but figure it out. You're playing on the road at the Kohl Center as opposed to playing another year of high school basketball. So that's what he decided. I'll give the hit, you know, I think J-Bo hit him on that screen roll. I think it was J-Bo for the dunk. And he dunked it quick. You know, he gets up easy, and he's an athlete. He's got great hands. Riley does.
What's Josh weigh, and what do you want him at, or is he close?
Getting closer.
Okay.
You know, he was over 300. Then he was hovering around 295, 292, and then we got him down into 280s. You know, I think he's probably in the high 270s right now. I'd probably want him in about that 260 range.
Heading in the right direction.
Yeah, he's heading in the right direction.
On that note, Coach Sally on YouTube in the chat room says, Fran, at what age group now do you start to recruit players? That's always a moving target.
Well, technically, a student athlete is considered a prospect in the 7th grade by rule. We're not watching a lot of 7th grade games. We're not watching a lot of 8th grade. I watched a lot of 8th grade games last year when Jack was in 8th grade, and 8th grade tournaments and so forth. But, you know, we're constantly digging and getting information on, you know, the better 8th graders in the country.
Amazing.
You know, and then freshman year it really heats up, and, you know, and then sophomore year you can bring them to campus. Used to be we could bring 7th, 8th, and 9th graders to campus. Now you have to wait till they're sophomores and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different. But, you know, the earlier the better. You know, because think about it, Dolph. I mean, the recruiting process is all about relationships.
For sure.
You know, whether it be with the coach, with the parents. I mean, you know, we were just talking about Riley Mulvey. I mean, I've known his dad for years because I coached his brother CJ when he played with Connor and Patrick on the Albany City Rocks 4th grade team. You've heard me talk about coaching that team before. Yeah. You know, his uncle Jack is one of the best players ever to play at Siena, still the all-time leading rebounder. They were both at the Virginia games. Great to see. I hadn't seen Jack in a while. But that's what it's all about.
Relationships.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I heard there's a 9th grader at West High that hit the game winner and stepped up and hit the free throw.
He's got a chance.
He's got a chance.
We're not allowed to talk about
can't mention his name.
Not by name, but...
well, he... Patrick, you want to tell everybody who it is?
Little brother. Nice job, though, kid. That rebound and free throw.
That was a big, you know, the free throw was huge, but he's averaging over almost 13 points a game for a freshman, you know, and complimenting Pete Moe really well, who's leading the state in scoring. So those guys work well together. But like we talked about that team a lot of Iowa legacies, you know.
For sure.
Jacob Cook and Christian Barnes and Kareem Earl, Pete Moe.
Familiar last names.
7-0.
Brady Simcox, you know, his dad Damian works.
Oh yeah, Damian, you bet.
Yeah.
Damian runs the facilities over there at Carver and Kenny. Well, this would be a good time to ask you about. We haven't talked about or gotten an update about Josh Dix and Desante Bowen, kid out of Boston, and Josh out of Council Bluffs. Is he Lincoln or
Lincoln?
Lincoln, yeah.
He had 28 the other night against Millard North, which was a really good team.
Omaha.
Out of Omaha. So Josh is playing really well. I went and saw him play. You know, they don't play Christmas tournaments in Iowa, which is
another story.
That's a topic for another day. But they do have those scrimmages where 3 teams will go to one place and they'll all play each other. So I went and saw Josh in one of those, and then another player who has the same name as a guy on our team now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they were playing against each other.
Figure that one out.
So wanted to see both of those guys. He's really good, playing really well. So that was good. I had a chance to see that. You know, Desante is killing it. You know, he's from Boston, but he goes to prep school in New Hampshire at Brewster. They play a really difficult national schedule, which is really good for him in terms of preparing him for this level. Those two guys are going to be really good.
when I asked you about DeSante, and the description you gave me initially was fearless.
He's fearless, and he's kind of multi-dimensional. You know, he's really good.
Dix is too, right? He can play multiple positions.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Dix, the game comes real easy to him. He moves it, he moves without it, he rebounds it, shoots it, drives it, always makes the right play. You know, same thing with DeSante. Really good in ball screen action. Both of them can shoot the ball. Both of them have size.
That's good. One's 6'5", the other's 6'3", and they both could jump, and they'll be in Hawkeye uniforms next season. Coach on Facebook, Sean, Fran, you've got a few busy weeks in the Big Ten. How do you keep the team focused and deal with the travel aspect? If I remember right, the next 3-4 weeks you go back and forth to East Coast, back to the Midwest, back to the East Coast. I think there's 3 consecutive road trips, Rutgers, Maryland, and Penn State, back to back to back.
You know what, Doc? We just take a very business-like approach to it. You know, it's the next game. Okay, it's on the road. Our student managers and our administrative personnel do a great job. You know, we're going to charter plane, and we're going to stay at nice hotels. We're going to eat good. The food's going to be good, and you know, we'll have everything organized. The bus will be where it's supposed to be. They'll be ready for us to check in, and you know, the meeting room will be set up, and where we're going to eat is going to be set up, and you go play the game and
get a good night's sleep.
Get a good night's sleep, and you know, we go through the scouting report and just get on to the next, and that there's no other way to do it. I think that's how everybody else does it as well.
It is what it is, and it's great to be a college basketball player.
It is. I mean, it's so much fun. You know, this is the best time of year for these guys because there's no academic pressures. You know, that'll start up again next week when we'll go back to classes, but right now we're just hooping and trying to stay healthy.
That's Coach McCaffery. We'll come back and wrap up our session with Fran here in just a few minutes. We're at Hawk Talk, of course, at the Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing. Just a beautiful part of the community, and we invite you to come on out. If you're looking for a place, by the way, to enjoy Valentine's Day, bring the girlfriend or the wife or the significant other out here with your special someone. Edgewater Grill has a specially created Valentine's Day menu available Friday, February 11th. That's only about 30 days out. Through Monday, February 14th, featuring a seared porcini. Is that porcini or porcini? I'm going to have to do my checking on that for next week. Anyway, it's a crusted filet mignon or seared Chilean sea bass with jumbo lump crab. It's a 4-course meal, just $60 per person. Reservations are requested, though. So to reserve your seat here at the Hyatt Regency, call 319-541-0638. 319-541-0638. Bring your loved one or loved ones or the family for that special Valentine's Day meal here at the Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing. More Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery in just a minute. Hawk Talk from Learfield.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 44 years straight. Built for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
When you build a network locally engineered for the home team, you know how important a strong connection is on game day. So you give every fan in town access to 5G at no extra charge. Now, when you switch to US Cellular, you can get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Join the nationwide network built from your town up and stay connected to your home team with US Cellular 5G. Switch today and get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Terms apply. 5G not available everywhere. See uscellular.com for details.
When you set up a savings goal with US Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the US Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. US Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Anything can happen when the Cyclones and Hawkeyes come to compete. It's where the rubber meets the road. Neighbors become rivals and friends become foes. Some go home broken-hearted, while others are victorious. When the dust finally settles, one thing stands true. No matter which side you're on, you're part of tradition for those who are Iowan through and through. We're Iowa Corn, a proud sponsor of the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
Back on Hawk Talk at the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. Found out it's porcini, not porcini, but porcini. And Margaret had a great idea. Bobby can read this one going forward for Valentine's Day. And Chilean sea bass. I love sea bass. It's outstanding. Have you had sea bass?
I'm not a big sea bass guy, but enjoy it.
You're not a big seafood guy.
I'm happy for. No, I like seafood.
You do
salmon guy.
So the jumbo lump crab.
That's right up my alley.
Okay, all right.
That's me.
And you like the
sea bass?
Oh yeah, I know you're
all day long, 7 days a week,
and good for you. As
melts in your mouth like cotton candy if it's good.
We got some good eating here at the Hyatt Regency. We have some special guests tonight, courtesy of Authentic Brand, one of our proud sponsors of Hawkeye basketball. Riley Johnson of Solon is over here. Riley, welcome. And Riley's with Cole Jans, her guest, and they're enjoying dinner on Authentic Brand and the Hawkeye Radio Network here at the show. Thanks to Authentic Brand for this fun prize package. Authentic Brand is the proud partner not only outfitting our broadcast crew each game night, but outfitting thousands of fans on game day. If you'd like to sign up to win apparel and dinner from Authentic Brand, go to HawkeyeSports.com. Outfit your life in Authentic Brand gear and give your personal and professional image a boost at authentic-brand.com. They've got a great website, authentic-brand.com. Iowa and Indiana are coming up on Thursday. That's an 8 o'clock start. Tickets available. Carver Hawkeye Arena. You can walk right up to the gate and purchase a ticket. Bring the family out on Thursday night, 8 o'clock, Iowa, Indiana. Let's pause 10 seconds right now for station identification before we wrap up the Fran McCaffery portion of the show. 10-second ID break. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery. And back with Coach on Twitter at Gary Dolphin. Yeah.
There you go. Give it up.
Are you picking up the tab tonight, by the way? It's a full house of McCaffreys here.
Patrick has it.
Patrick's got it. Well, all that
he's using his NIL
that NIL
money.
cash is rolling through the door. So.
He's not invested in crypto? Not yet?
Not like Luca? Connor's busy eating. He can't talk right now, so we'll. And Mara's back from school. She heads back tomorrow at Villanova, right? She's
heading back to Villanova tomorrow.
By the way, Jay Wright won his 500th game last week. Did he? Give him a shout out up the same night the Hawks were playing Wisconsin. Jay got his 500th win.
Good for him. He's one of the good dudes in this business.
Great guy. Is. Coach, how many times are you allowed to visit a recruit? How many times do you typically see a recruit after they commit, at least verbally?
Well,
or signed, I guess.
We'll keep track. We'll keep track of them. There's a finite number of recruiting opportunities, they call it. So that means whether you go evaluate them or whether you go into their home. We typically don't get to that number. It would be really hard. Sometimes we do. I think the number is 7. So what you have to do is track not only who we're going to see and how many times we're seeing that individual, but there's 130 recruiting days. They're called man days. So if I go out, that's one. If me and Kirk go together, that counts as two.
Oh, it
so
does
a lot of
count
times
as
we
two.
go by ourselves, so you don't lose a day technically.
That's from.
That's separate from, the other events that we will cover that are during what's called the live period. So there's times in April and June and July, and then that's when it really heats up, and then you start bringing guys in August, September we'll bring them in for football games. We'll bring them in for fall weekends and try to get them to say yes.
I know they enjoy their visits to Kinnick.
When we beat Penn State that night. I mean, all the recruits ran on the field. It was great. They were all down there.
So there you go. That's Kyle on Twitter. Mark on Twitter as well. Coach, you can see J-Bo is working so hard to get open. Is there some two-man game with Keegan like last year with Garza that can get him open even more?
Well, it really doesn't come down to that. I mean, they're just face guarding him, and they're kind of beating the crap out of him a little bit off the ball. So that's why we gave him the ball a little bit last week. We might do that a little bit more at times.
He became the all-time NCAA career leader in games played at 158 for his career. I mean, that's staying power.
It is, and I'm really happy for him, proud of him. And he's been doing a great job as a leader for this team, which is what we desperately need.
And I've got a couple comments from J-Bo. We're going to play to that subject matter, but also Keegan Murray made the top 25 list for the John Wooden National Award. And,
I figured that was coming. I mean,
and he's so appreciative of it, though. He's low-key about that like he is everything else.
Yeah, he didn't really pay much attention to that stuff. If it happens, it happens. But, he's a pretty humble kid. So's Chris.
Indeed.
They whittle that down one more time, two more times?
I think they get it down to 10.
Get to 10. Yeah, he'll make that.
10. These are the semifinals.
That too.
Oh, no question, Ian.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there'll be a number of Big Ten players on that final 10, I would think.
Maybe
Fran,
about 7.
Pardon?
Maybe about 7.
Yeah, you're right.
What did you see with those two kids and no one else really saw it?
Well, the thing that was obvious, and and I remember talking to Patrick about it, they just kept growing and they kept getting better. And Patrick would say, I just think those guys are really good. And then I thought the same thing. Physically, they became more dominant. But, I think it actually helped them that they grew late because it helped them develop other parts of their game because they had to. They were smaller. But they were the kind of guys that never really played with a lot of fanfare. They were out loud and they just kind of hooped and tried to win and worked at their game. And it's fun to watch them enjoy sort of the fruits of their hard work. I think that we all want that. I want that for my own children. I want that for all my guys. You're working hard. You're getting better. And they're both really good players and incredibly versatile. So we're thrilled to have them.
Fran, before we let you go, a key or two to the start of the game Thursday night with the Hoosiers. What's got to happen?
Well, you're going to have to be able to move the ball against heavy heat. There's going to be heat. And then, of course, how do you defend Trace?
For sure.
And that, with all due respect to the other really good players they have, like I said, Race Thompson's playing extremely well. There's a lot of guys on that team that are playing well. And they're all veteran guys. But Trace is another next level stuff. And that's one thing, Dolph. But the other thing is when you're playing against a guy and they're really going to him, it's kind of like when teams tried to prepare for us last year with Luka. They knew we were going to throw him the ball a lot.
Sure.
All right, are you doubling? Where are you doubling from? Are you fronting? What kind of ball pressure do you have? Where's your weak side help? How are you rotating from there? Because it's not like, okay, we stopped Trace from shooting. That's great. Somebody else is going to shoot, and we prefer they not be open. So let's try to make sure we get that buttoned up. So it's the ability to be connected in a situation where we're really focusing on defending that one terrific player.
Good luck. We'll see you Thursday.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Fran, as always. Coach McCaffery And Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery and Gary Dolphin and Bobby Hansen will continue in a minute. At Iowa Corn, we know Iowa grows a lot of corn, but in reality, corn grows Iowa. Corn grows our livestock, our economy, and our athletes. Put on your best face for the Iowa Corn Cam and follow Iowa Corn on Facebook to be corn-fed. Iowa Corn. Hawk Talk is brought to you each and every week here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. And if you missed any part of tonight's show, subscribe to the Fight for Iowa podcast feed to get full broadcast replays of Hawk Talk, our weekly Fight for Iowa and Herky's Voice podcasts, exclusive game day content, and much, much more. Head to your favorite podcast app and search for the Fight for Iowa podcast. It's out there at HawkeyeSports.com and any of the platforms carried by the University of Iowa. You can hear us on the Hawkeye Radio Network, also via the new Varsity Network app. Fans can download the app in the Apple Store for Apple devices or the Google Play Store for Android devices. Yeah, go Android. The Varsity Network app offers fans instant access to free game day audio streams, plus receive push notifications to remind you of games starting or upcoming audio broadcasts. That's the Hawkeye Radio Network via the new Varsity Network app. You can listen to the show each and every week on Hawk Talk. And we'll continue in a minute on Hawk Talk from Learfield.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you, because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
When you build a network locally engineered for the home team, you know how important a strong connection is on game day. So you give every fan in town access to 5G at no extra charge. Now, when you switch to US Cellular, you can get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Join the nationwide network built from your town up and stay connected to your home team with US Cellular 5G. Switch today and get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Terms apply. 5G not available everywhere. See uscellular.com for details.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
In Iowa, we grow corn, a lot of corn. We love seeing our farmers in the fields, and although they're perfect strangers, we know them. We know them by their equipment covered in dust. We know them by their work ethic, where days off don't exist. We know them by the way they wave, passing strangers alike on a 2-lane road. We know them in the midst of our kitchen as we prepare another family meal. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. The Iowa corn farmers are proud to be on the sidelines for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
When you set up a savings goal with US Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the US Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. US Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Ladies, Gary Dolphin here. Authentic Brand's stylish line of products are designed by ladies for ladies. You will love the unique Hawkeye options available for your next tailgate. These same Authentic Brand styles are available to outfit your professional life as well. With Authentic Brand by TCB Companies, you'll look your best at the game, work, or anywhere in between. Outfit your life today at authentic-brand.com. Authentic Brand by TCB Companies.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery, Gary Dolphin, and Bobby Hansen on the mic tonight. As always, we're here each and every, typically Monday night if the Hawks obviously are playing a Monday night home game or on the road on Tuesday. We'll adjust the schedule. But I looked today, and I think 7 of the remaining 10 shows are on Monday nights. So make plans to come on out and join us here at the Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing. I mentioned earlier Keegan Murray and Jordan Bohannon, 2 young guys out of Cedar Rapids or Marion, have really reached the pinnacle of their seasons and careers. This past week, Keegan Murray was named to the John Wooden Mid-Season Player of the Year Award. And, of course, Keegan went to Cedar Rapids Prairie. Another former prep star from the other side of town, Marion Linmar's Jordan Bohannon, owns another mark after the game at Wisconsin. Jordan became the NCAA's all-time leader in games played at 158 when he stepped on the floor at Wisconsin.
Yeah, a lot of thanks to Brad Floyd, our athletic trainer, for getting me to this position. You know, I've been through a lot of injuries, you know, a couple surgeries, a lot of stitches, a lot of injections, and pretty much everything you can think of I've been through. So to be able to still be playing, and I'm in the best shape I've ever been in my entire life, it shows the medical staff has done a lot to help me to get to this point.
Jordan is in his 6th year at the program, of course, at Iowa, and he's the career leader now in 4 statistical categories, including assists, 662, three-pointers made with 399. So his next one will be 400. He was, of course, became the all-time Big Ten leader earlier in the season at 375 when he surpassed John Diebler of Ohio State. And now with his 158th game played, he becomes the all-time NCAA leader in career games, surpassing another Buckeye, David Lighty, at 157. David Lighty was a great player at Ohio State from 2007 to 2011. Keegan Murray, last week's Big Ten Player of the Week, now on that top 25. That's what they call the semifinalist list for the John Wooden Award. Keegan prepped at Cedar Rapids Prairie, and he's honored to be included on any awards list named after the legendary UCLA coach.
Obviously, it's a great honor. There's a lot of Iowa guys that have been on that list, so just an honor for me. Just a lot of hard work that went into it, and I'm just blessed to be in this position.
You certainly put a lot of hard work into this season. You know, beyond the points, where do you feel you've improved the most?
Yeah, I just feel like my energy and effort has always been consistent throughout my time at Iowa. I pride myself on just being the hardest working guy on the court. I just think that's kind of the improvement I took, and also getting the right shape to be able to play a lot of minutes, and that's probably what I worked on the most this offseason.
Simply put, Keegan Murray, he's been the best in the Big Ten consistently. He's had 7 games of 20 points or more and 10 rebounds or more, and having a great year, the sophomore from Cedar Rapids Prairie. Back with more Hawk Talk in just a minute. Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery from Learfield.
American Equity salutes today's hero of the game and is a proud sponsor of the ongoing recognition of our military at Hawkeye games this season. Thank you to all the men and women, past and present, who have served our country and allow all of us to enjoy the freedom and liberty we enjoy today. American Equity's vision is to become the premier insurance company specializing in retirement savings and income products. To learn more about our company, please visit our website at american-equity.com.
When you build a network locally engineered for the home team, you know how important a strong connection is on game day. So you give every fan in town access to 5G at no extra charge. Now, when you switch to US Cellular, you can get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Join the nationwide network built from your town up and stay connected to your home team with US Cellular 5G. Switch today and get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Terms apply. 5G not available everywhere. See uscellular.com for details.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
What are you craving? The Wig and Pin in Ankeny, across from DMAC, is proud to offer dine-in and carry-out. Home of the famous Flying Tomato Pizza and Chicago-style deep dish, the Wig has all of your favorites, including thin crust pizza, appetizers, lots of sandwiches like the Turkey Club and Reuben, soups and salads you'll love, and a full bar. Call to order or just come on in for lunch and dinner. The Wig and Pin in Ankeny. What are you craving?
Are you looking to downsize from your family home to begin your retirement years? Our Oak Knoll East campus is for you. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. Our new campus has many unique amenities for your active lifestyle, in addition to providing the same great services that Oak Knoll has offered our residents for over 50 years. We're now open and have a few 2-bedroom apartments still available. Call me at 319-351-1720 or visit oakknoll.com to set up your personal tour. Go Hawks!
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Rocking and rolling through Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. Good to hear from Jordan Bohannon and Keegan Murray a moment ago. Iowa, Indiana, the Hoosiers 3-2 in the Big Ten, 12-3 overall on the season. The Hawkeyes are 1-3 and 11-4 overall. The Big Ten standings, by the way, I meant to get these to you earlier. Again, we're only 4 or 5 games into the year, but Michigan State and Illinois are both 4-0. Ohio State is 4-1. Wisconsin is 4-1. An impressive win for the Badgers again yesterday. A tough 1-point victory on the road at Maryland, but boy, you win one on the road in the Big Ten, and you're doing something. Rutgers is 3-1. Indiana then at 3-2. There's the first 6 teams in the league. Penn State is 2-3. Northwestern 1-3. Purdue is 2-2. Minnesota 1-3. The Hawks are 1-3. Minnesota and the Hawkeyes face off on Sunday afternoon. So, Bobby Hansen, this is a big week. There's a lot of movement in the standings going to happen this week, and will really from here to the end of February.
Yeah, it certainly will, Garrett. I was looking at the schedule today, preparing for the show here, and I like the way how it sets up for the Hawkeyes. You got the home game here Thursday night, time to prepare, the week off, get healthy, and then at Minnesota. So, you know, to me, there's 2 winnable games right there. And then you just keep inching your way to 500, and then you just take them one at a time after that. But you got to shorten it down. You know, this is the week. Indiana, obviously, and then at Minnesota. And then before you know, we'll be at Big Ten tournament coming up in Indianapolis.
That'll be here. It's good. This 60-day stretch really does go in a hurry, doesn't it?
Yeah, once you get
because you're on the road, you're at home, you're on the road for 2, then you're back home for 2, and back and forth. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's a great time of the year.
Nope, short month in February, and then it's March Madness.
2 teams have really hit their free throws going at it Thursday night over at Carver Hawkeye Arena with the Hawks and the Hoosiers. The Hawks have struggled a little bit the last couple games, but we know how good they can shoot from the charity stripe. Indiana's at 75%. The Hawks are just under 80, leading the Big Ten heading into last week's action.
Yeah, I think the last game was an anomaly. Jordan Bohannon misses 3 free throws. Yeah, I mean you take that off the table because he's not going to miss 3 in that game. The Hawks are a really, really good free throw shooting team.
Hawks are shooting 48% from the field. Indiana 47.8, so that's a wash. Iowa's winning by a scoring margin of 15+. Indiana 14+. The scoring averages, the Hawks are at 87 a game, Indiana at 75. Indiana's giving up 11 fewer points a game. So, Bobby, everywhere you look on this stat sheet, it's even except for turnovers. Hawks one of the best in the country at 8.5 turnovers a game. Indiana's flipping it over 14 times. That could be the difference maker.
It could be the difference maker, along with the free throws, if the Hawks get a good whistle on Thursday night. But the Hawks don't foul. You know, they play without fouling, so you're not going to be putting Indiana at the free throw line a lot. But as Coach mentioned, it's going to come down to hitting those boards hard, all 5 guys, and on the offensive glass, going after getting some of those misses, getting some offensive rebound putbacks.
It is indeed. By the way, the coaches the college basketball rankings came out today, as they do on Monday. Associated Press and the coaches poll. Baylor is number 1 on both polls. In fact, the first 4 teams are the same. Baylor, Gonzaga, UCLA, and Auburn are 1 through 4 on both the coaches and the AP poll. Southern Cal is 5th on the AP. Purdue is number 5 on the coaches poll. And the rest of the top 10 for the AP, starting with number 6, you've got Arizona, Purdue, Duke, Kansas, and Michigan State. So the Big Ten and the Pac-12 are well represented. On the coaches poll, 6 through 10, it's Arizona, USC, Duke, Michigan State, and Kansas. Those are the latest rankings. Hawk Talk is brought to you tonight by Iowa Corn. Throughout the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk series, Iowa Corn promotes honest, hardworking values that are uniquely Iowan. On behalf of Iowa's corn farmers, we salute all fans and athletes for their hard work and determination to be the best both on and off the field. Just like our top athletes, our state leads the nation in corn and ethanol production. Follow Iowa Corn and learn how corn grows Iowa. I want to thank Matt and the crew as usual tonight here at the Hyatt Regency in the Coralville in the Iowa River Landing for hosting Hawk Talk. They host it here each and every Monday or Tuesday night throughout basketball. Make plans to come on out and join us next week. Also want to congratulate University of Iowa junior Jaquavia Henderson. Jaquavia from Peoria, junior from Peoria, has been named the Big Ten Gymnast Specialist of the Week. She earned the distinction after winning 2 events in the Hawkeyes' victory over Eastern Michigan. Season opening win Saturday night over at Carver Hawkeye Arena. She posted a 9.925 in the vault and 9.925 to claim the floor title. That's about as close to perfect as you can get. 9 nines in both. Coach Larissa Libby has another outstanding team this year. They're the defending Big Ten champions, and they defeated Eastern Michigan. They've got another home meet coming up this weekend at Carver Hawkeye Arena. The Hawkeye wrestlers got out of the gate great. They beat Minnesota and Purdue over the weekend at Carver in dual meets. And the Hawks head now to Northwestern on the road this weekend. Back to wrap up this week's Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery in just a minute. Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency. Hawk Talk from Learfield.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
When you set up a savings goal with US Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the US Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. US Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
There's a sense of pride that comes from the life of a farmer. How many people can say they have a famous tan named after them, or be known for their wave when they drive past neighbors and strangers alike on a 2-lane road? Whether it's a farmer's tan or the farmer's wave, we are proud to be known for a lot of things. We feel that pride every night at the dinner table, knowing we feed our family and yours. Iowa Corn is proud to be on the sidelines cheering on the Iowa Hawkeyes. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa.
When you build a network locally engineered for the home team, you know how important a strong connection is on game day. So you give every fan in town access to 5G at no extra charge. Now, when you switch to US Cellular, you can get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Join the nationwide network built from your town up and stay connected to your home team with US Cellular 5G. Switch today and get unlimited 5G data for only $30 a month with 4 lines. Terms apply. 5G not available everywhere. See uscellular.com for details.
Hawk Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly transformed Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center. Located in the heart of the Iowa River Landing, walking distance to Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeyes volleyball team, as well as some great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency is the new home of Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery this fall. Come find your place at Hyatt Regency, where we care for people so they can be their best.
Back to wrap up Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. I'm Gary Dolphin. Thanks again, as always, to Bobby Hansen tonight, to our nice crowd that gathered here, including the McCaffery family reunion before classes resume later this week. Keeping an eye on that Alabama-Georgia national championship game at 6-3. Alabama by a field goal over Georgia. And it looks like about midway through the second period. Yeah, the Tide is threatening on second down and goal. Had a long pass play completion inside the 10. I don't know. These are certainly the two best teams in the country right now, but it's hard to go against Alabama. But that Georgia defense has just sacked the Bama quarterback. So enjoy the rest of that game tonight. And Bobby, Iowa, Indiana. The Eyes have it. It's always historically been a great series. The Hawks have won 46 and Indiana 43 at Carver Hawkeye Arena. I look for a good, close, tight game won by Iowa Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Fran mentioned, you're going to have to face some tough physical defense. You're going to have to rebound, and everybody's going to have to get in there and contribute. Because we need a big crowd there on Thursday night at 8 o'clock as well.
Come on out. Pregame coverage starts at 7 here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. We'll talk next week on Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. Good night, everybody.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, live from the Hyatt Regency, this has been Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery, brought to you by Bud Light. It's for the fans. Brought to you by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Hy-Vee, the official grocer partner of Iowa Hawkeyes basketball. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. U.S. Bank, life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. U.S. Cellular, today's game brought to you by U.S. Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. And by Hyatt Regency, caring for people so they can be their best. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.